Okay, that was a TurboTax ad. Where's the? Okay, we sound good. We sound pretty good. Not gonna lie. Not going to lie. All right. Welcome back to another episode of Painting with Friends.
Gang, 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 swat, 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 swoop, swoop, gang, swat, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. Can't give him too much for free. As usual, I'm Vaz motherfucking Hazen. And we got Aaron in the corner. You guys know Aaron. He handles all of our technical issues and problems during the show because they always arise. And today we have our guest on. It goes by the name Kingkoltrane.
Yeah, bro, what's up? What's happening?
And we have a fun interview planned out for you.
I like that. I'm nervous. This is my first interview in a long time. Actually, no, this might be my first interview.
Oh, okay.
That's not a job interview.
Oh shit, we got him on the very first one. You're going to have to remember this. You'll be like,
Oh, of course.
like at a Grammy show, you're going to be like, they were the very first people to ever put me on my first interview and say I could do it and talk in front of a camera.
That'll be classic because that'll blow up that episode too. Then people are gonna go back to early Kingkoltrane. It's like, yo, this nigga was trash.
He said cheetah print durags. That's when durags were back in, because they gotta clown us for the fashion that we're wearing right now.
We black, so do-rags kind of always been in the game for us. we just need it for our hair. Then we just like, okay, you know what? Right, the standard black one got boring. Let's just put the wildest designs. I'm getting
go for it.
I'm getting a Boondocks one.
Bro, that would be sick as shit.
I'm not telling niggas where I'm getting it.
It's be like Granddad. No, it's gonna be like Huey. It's be like Riley.
I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna tell niggas where I'm getting it, but I'm getting the Boondocks, Joe.
What's good, DJ Press Play?
DJ Press Play.
Press Play. The illest DJ in Toledo.
My green tambourine.
Damn, they are blowing up the 555 chat.
Let me see.
Why now?
I'm creating a Twitch account in real time. It's funny.
You got to. Because it's that real. You got to interact with all these people. Once you see all their comments, you're like, oh, these people are pretty cool.
Let me see. There we go. Right,
gang.
And they can't text it to me like a normal person. They gotta send it to my email.
It takes a 5-minute setup, but then once you're set up, it's like you're good for life. It never makes you redo anything, like other apps or websites.
That means they know their demographic.
They only want this once. We only get one chance with them. After that, we're losing them. It's like, yeah, facts.
Big old facts.
No, Rex is coming. He's on his way. He's kind of running a little bit late.
It's a bet. Bet we're in it. And alright, so I'm in the joint. I'm signed in.
You got it?
Yeah.
Ooh!
Where am I going now?
You can go back to the link that you sent. You can press the link and it will bring you to it. Yeah.
Oh, I love technology.
It's so lit.
It's so great.
So integrated.
Shout out to technology, B.
Technology, if you're watching, shout out to you. Probably not. Nigga famous and shit. You ain't watching this.
There we go. Open an app. Oh, yeah, he's definitely Hollywood. Technology's beyond Hollywood now.
Technology don't left us. Technology don't give a fuck.
Technology's on Michael Jackson level, just pulling every time randomly, heyday Michael Jackson level. So, history, when he's got, statues and shit.
Yeah, so when people come, so technology, I love you. It's like, hi, goodbye. Hi, love you guys too. Gets in the whip. Drive fast, drive off.
Always in sunglasses, never regular outfits. They're dressed in some
It's always Givenchy or
just Napoleon Bonaparte.
No bullshit.
It's
that's he's ready to get on the horse, but there's never any horse. Or he's ready to ride in a tank, but there's never no tank.
They don't even got a horse. They got a zebra or
something wild. It has to be some wild shit. It could never be a horse.
Technology has the one living unicorn, just rides it to and from. Just one.
You know how much you would have to shit on somebody to have the one unicorn? Just that one fucking unicorn?
just one, the last living of its species. And it's imagine pulling up to the Oscars in that.
That would be
on the red carpet, everyone's walking like pedestrians.
That'd be such a dick move.
I would if I had it, I would do it immediately.
But you got to stunt. You got to.
You have to. It's the Oscars. You don't go there to be regular.
True shit. It's like, you ain't as big as me. I'm technology.
Technology, dog. Like, everyone has me, dog. I'm in all... Technology's like a step above Drake. Like, I'm everywhere. I'm in everyone's house. I'm on everyone's playlist. You can't live without me.
I wonder if that's how Bill Gates feels.
Has to. You run... I would say Apple's just now got into the government game. But for the most part, Microsoft's been running that. The government phones, computers, like, that's who supplies it. Android phones, I'm pretty sure most of them have some sort of tie to
This man just pulled
Microsoft.
The biggest stunt ever. He just bought a $500 million boat, like hydro, eco-friendly boat. It was weird. It was a big flex.
That's hard.
I'm walking in the Grammys next year in my cloud hoodie. Gang gang on the red cloud hoodie shit.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Just the most expensive tux you can find with the cloud hoodie.
Yes.
That's fire.
That shit would be fire as fuck. And then people would be like, so we see you have a tuxedo on. Why are you wearing a regular cloud hoodie over top of it? And then DJ Press would be like, because it's gang shit, baby. We out here. I'm on the Grammys. Tell my mans. Shout out to Toledo. Shout out to Woodbridge. Shout out to the 555. Shout out to the cloud. Okay, I'm done. All right, let's get into this interview shit.
Let's get it.
All right.
Let's see.
So today we have on Kingkoltrane. Could you drop your ads and Instagram information? I know it's like the same. It's like Twitter. Your Twitter and IG is the same.
Yeah, Twitter and IG are both at Kingkoltrane, King, and Coltrane is Koltrane. I like to keep it pretty simple. I have Tumblr, but I never be on there. So
it's right above your head. We changed it. I didn't see it there at first, but now I see it.
Oh yeah, we Gucci. But yeah, I'm never on Tumblr, but it's the same. If you want to follow me on Tumblr, they took off the porn on Tumblr, and
Tumblr's
that
not it. It's not it no more, bro. It's not it.
Once they made it family friendly, that joint was dry.
I'm done with that shit.
It all went to Twitter. Now that's where the porn's at. So.
Oh man. Yeah. One question for you.
Yes, sir.
So, you watch Sway in the Morning?
Yes, definitely.
How the fuck do they introduce their guests?
It's usually Sway just giving like the most grandiose intro as far as like who they are and what they've accomplished, even if they're like new, and like how he personally feels about them. So he'd be like, so this next guest we got here is a legend. I've known this guy for years, 20-something years in the game. He's got plaques on plaques on plaques. He's broken every record.
So this is like the way he talks them up. It's not the energy.
Yeah, it's just the way he talks them up. There's not like a specific thing. It's just he just talks them up. But he'll do it for like, depending on who it is, it'll last anywhere from like 60 seconds if it's a newer guy, to like if you're a legend, he may go on for like 5 minutes before the guy even starts talking.
Oh no, I would tune out.
He'll just go.
I would tune the fuck out.
Because like watch it, because he's so enthralled and it's like he's energetic about it, and he may even throw in a little anecdote or something that people don't know because he's Sway. He's been around forever, so like it's just captivating the way he does it versus like
halfway in he has to be like, if I still have your attention, I'll tell you what's under my hat after I'm done. Just to keep your attention. That was a spot on Sway impersonation. Okay, so you fucking know Sway.
Yeah, definitely. It's like Sway, like probably some of my favorite interviews today, as far as like radio goes. Hot 97 is cool. I like Ebro and Rosenberg. They're like Laura Styles too. They're interesting. And I say the Breakfast Club, but it's mostly Charlemagne.
Yeah,
who's interesting
because he geeks.
Envy and Angela Yee aren't quite that interesting to me.
I've only ever seen one Sway in the Morning interview, and that was just like when Kanye spazzed on him, and that's it. You don't know the answer, Sway. That's the only one I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's one of like the top ones too. Yeah,
it's
I would
rated
say
high as fuck.
I would say definitely just like look at different Sway interviews. Like they're more because he got like the segments that he goes into is it's not so much like, okay, well, what are you doing now? What are you up to? What do you got to promote? Asking like the hot button questions. It's like they have segments. So it's like, okay, if you dropped an album, they're gonna dive into your lyrics. What did you mean with these here?
Gotcha.
And like, and then of course he's got Heather B there too, another legend who's like they feed off each other's energy really well. So they just do dope interviews. And actually, besides Flex, they actually get people to rap.
Oh yeah, I've watched their.
The Five Fingers of Death is one of the greatest things
That's
ever.
mostly what they're known for. That's mostly what you see on the internet, like when you're scrolling through Facebook and somebody's rapping. Sway and Big Boy are my favorite.
Definitely,
I watched a lot of Big Boy.
As well. Definitely Big Boy. Also another legend. They've been doing this for so long.
Dead ass.
What's her name? Angie Martinez as well. She's on 105.1 now, but she was on Hot 97 for couple decades.
Sheesh.
Like her Flex built that house as far as Hot 97, and then eventually she just she got a bigger bag from Power 105, so she went over there.
There's such legends in the game, and you definitely need people like that because hip hop wouldn't be what it is without them.
Big facts. It's good that hip hop's been around that long to where we have those type of legends now, like guys who've been doing this for 20, 30 plus years.
And most rappers, they see it like, I'm not big until I go on their show. And beforehand, it was like their shows didn't exist. It's not what it made a rapper. But now it's kind of like, yeah, that is like something that's like a mark of like, yo, I made it somewhere.
I do feel that. I feel the same way. Like, I feel like once I've gone on Sway,
it's just like,
I'm like, okay, I'm doing something right.
Bro.
Or once I've gone on Vaz, I'm doing something right now. Shit.
All right, I'm gonna try to give you a Sway in the Morning interview introduction. So you know who it is. We got a very special artist in the building. It's one of DMV's own, brings the culture. I've never seen somebody glide across the floor like this man does during a performance. You would love to see it. You've never seen the energy, the feedback that this man gets. He screams Pharaoh, and the crowd screams back in retaliation to what he needs them to say. I can't tell you what he said. Oh, damn it, bro. Anyway. All right, I suck at this. Anyway. Introducing Kingkoltrane.
Yeah. And I glide across the floor, and I'm 300 pounds, nigga. I do it better than the skinny niggas. Let's get it.
When I saw your performance and I saw that shit, I was like, yep, this guy needs to come on the show. He's definitely taking this shit seriously. I was like, the only other person I ever see do that type of shit is like my brother CY. Like he'll be like mid-performance and he'll just start doing something with his footwork just to get the crowd more hype.
Bruh, I was so happy / sick when Jaden did this. Jaden Smith did the moonwalk on stage.
Oh yeah, he was on it.
And then when Offset broke out the choreography doing Clout.
Wait, Offset
you ever seen that?
No.
First of all, yeah, Offset can dance his ass off. There's like an old video of him like long before he was the Offset we knew. He was like probably in high school, and him just like getting it, and he's a beast.
Well, damn.
And then he brought it out. He brought it out twice. The first time the world besides that the video seen it was the Walk It Like I Talk It video. Mm-hmm. When they had the Soul Train line, and he's going in doing this thing while his verse is going, and then
classic breakdancer. This is always the pop and lock.
Always just getting it, and then what's it called? And then when him and Cardi did Clout, I forgot which it might have been. I think it was BET Awards.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like real choreography while he was doing his verse. That shit was hard.
I'm gonna need to see this shit. Yeah. I need to study this shit up. Also, reminder: whenever we're doing the interviews, you want to have the mic right below you.
Let me make sure I'm
it's
closer.
Gonna make your audio come through so crisp.
I know my voice is low as shit, so I definitely need that.
So I definitely brought you on because you are a dope performing artist, and I loved your performance. It was pretty hype, and I love the feedback that you got from the crowd engagement. A lot of artists struggle to get crowd engagement and also keep like a very good performance going throughout it. And you had like all three combinations. Songs were good, performance was good, and crowd engagement was good. And I was just like, yo, this dude is making a very big impact. Like I see a spark. I was like, yo, that's a great artist.
Yo, I really appreciate that. That just comes from the people like I'm around who inspire me and like the artists I looked up to. Most notably the people around me like Con from the 703, Flows, really just the Coop in general, the rest of Pharaoh Vision. Like
I know you had to be around Flows. You got one of those rings he was talking about.
Of course, the Akatsuki ring, baby. Yeah. You already know. I got Kisame.
Yeah.
Yeah, like especially being around like other anime. And then like I think anime is even a big part of that too. Everything about anime is super like in your face. It's nuts.
It's grandiose. It's like I'm gonna pop out. I'm gonna flash and all that flashy shit. I think it goes great with rap because that's what rap is. It's like all flash.
The rap and anime are like the greatest combination in like art. It's amazing, and that's and then like just people that I grew up being inspired by. Kanye West is grandiose. Rest in peace, Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant. Definitely grandiose. Also, rest in peace, Michael Jackson. Just a lot of the artists. My biggest influences are in your face, and they're great performers at whatever they do. Like if you watch it, even Kobe, he doesn't do a performing art.
Yeah.
But you watch the Kobe game, especially like in the heyday of number 24, he make that face. Oh, Black Mom, he's dropping 50. You know it. As soon as that underbite come in, he's dropping 50. I don't care how many people you put on him. Put the whole team on him. He's not passing it. He's shooting and he's making it.
I think those are like perfect examples because they're like such great performers and what they do that it's not really like what they wear. It's kind of like they don't let what they're wearing wear them. It's kind of like
they make the fit. Hove too.
They make the fit like what they do makes the fit blow up. It's not so much the fit.
Too.
Yes.
Like the Yankee fitted, that's a normal thing.
Yeah.
But when Hove rocks the Yankee fitted,
it becomes way more iconic.
It's different.
Stock prices go up.
It does, bro.
And when you got the personality and the skill to make the stock prices go up, like you're like an icon.
Bro, those are my influences. Icons, just like overpowered characters in anime. Icons are like Escanors, bro. They're just larger than life figures. They're Escanors.
That's my man's.
They're Naruto. What's my man's name? Madara.
Yes.
See how they're like those guys, Whitebeard or any of the Yonko in One Piece. Those are like the equivalent
of icons
in their world.
Fuck yes.
Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman in comics, like
yes.
Spider-Man, Flash, these larger than life figures, Iron Man.
They make the suit. To anybody else, it's like, why he wearing that gay ass suit? But then once you see them in movies, you're like, I want that gay ass suit.
Like, no, that's the only time like you could pull up in some of the weirdest, wildest stuff, and it's like, hey, respect,
this
props.
Nigga about to do some shit in that weird ass shit. Like, it's different. It's way different now. Because like once you can rock some shit, then it becomes like Aizen from Bleach.
Yeah, bro, Aizen had drip, dog.
Dog, he did. I ain't
Aizen, Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh, big drip vibes, dog. Like, these niggas is fly.
Yeah, when he had that coat and he threw that joint behind him and he said, let's do it, you
I can hear the coat flap, the sound effect. Just drip, dog.
I forgot. We supposed to be painting and shit. Supposed to be drawing while we do this. If there's anything that you guys want us to draw or anything, let me know.
Yeah, I'm going to use the regular pencil first.
Or we're just going to freestyle this shit. I'm
drawing what I know how to draw, and that's horrible looking anime characters.
Damn.
What? Start with. Do you still remember how to do this shit?
It's just, put the pencil down, do some lines.
I'm sure it's muscle memory at this point.
Yeah, you got it. He's off to a great start. He's not hurting himself.
Oh nah, I'm not gonna exert myself.
Yeah, you're not bleeding yet. Not yet. Yeah, he's doing some things, guys. He's doing some things. He said, I'm down the street. All right, Rex is about to pull up soon.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Senor Rex.
So how long have you been rapping, bro?
Seriously, I'd say about 3 years or so. But as far as just writing rhymes, I've been doing it since high school. So about 08, 09 roughly. A lot of my friends were into music. Especially another one of my biggest influences when it comes to just making music and performance. Definitely my biggest influence as far as why I started rapping is Tyler Donovan, my best friend of 15 years. He was kind of my first introduction to it. He's my first friend I knew who was rapping as far as to make that his life. And then also my boy Saj Wise, or Saj the artist as he goes by now, also known him for over a decade. My boy Bobby Lacey, they're more so vocally inclined, especially Bobby, so their singing voices are god level. But then Saj also is a crazy rapper too as well, being from New York. So being around those guys all the time, and then we were all danced too. Like we had a dance crew and everything in high school, so I was always around art. So I kind of just gravitated into it, like, and especially Tyler was already a top tier MC back then. So like it's okay if I'm gonna do it, I'm competitive, so I got to be better than him. And that's high key why I got as good as I did, and why I still continue to like evolve. Cause like the people who I look up to in rap are never letting their pen get stale. Yeah. Especially from guys back in the day and up to this day, like goes by like Kane. Kane is the name. another huge Jared Sanders, all big influences, guys that can just rap and create content that's out of this world, up to guys I've met more recently throughout the years, 90 Wise, Geronimo. It's crazy with 90 Wise. I remember when he didn't rap, and now he's like arguably one of the best barsmiths in the state, like just flat out. I can keep naming names, but those are just some guys that come off the top right now.
I love the intensity that he puts into it whenever he's performing.
He lives it, bro.
He definitely does.
Like, if you want to talk about someone who really lives this rap shit, like who breathes it, bleeds it, 90.
Yeah,
definitely.
And
No
man,
Face
he keeps
too.
that.
Shout out to No Face.
No Face rapper. He definitely like. Damn, I forgot what I was about to say.
No worries. I keep naming people. G. Salee, Keynote.
Keeps that boom bap shit alive. That's what I was about to say.
Keeps it alive, but he can do
He can do other things.
Bringing Him Out is the hardest record, one of the top 5 hardest records that came out in 2019. Nuts. The jungle's nuts. And it's not boom bap. That shit just knocks. Fucking knocks.
So you mentioned a lot of your friends and people you're close to. Are these like your main influences, or are there like any celebrity influences that aspire you to do what you do?
These days, I do. It's a mix of both. So a lot of the people that I'm around, artists today, definitely the legends, but then like newer guys, Toby Lou out of Chicago, huge influence, especially for like the stuff that I have coming out now that's a little bit more melody based. Don Tolliver out of Houston, Cactus Jack representative. You heard him on the what's it called, the Jack Boys joint, dominating. Also big for melodies. When it comes to energy, performance, just making bangers. Duke Deuce out of Memphis, nasty. QC sign, and he's a big boy too, killing it with the dance in the Memphis juking. Crunk Ain't Dead is probably my favorite record out right now. Shit, you turn into a whole other person when that joint drop. Who else? Dang, there's a lot. I like Russ. Russ does a lot of dope music.
Did you just say Russ?
Yeah.
You gotta leave.
That's fine.
Interview over, guys.
You don't.
Sorry, Ryan.
Oh,
Ryan. We had it, but he said Russ.
So let me ask you.
Okay.
I know. I'm supposed to be the one being interviewed. But okay, so why? I like to ask, why don't you like Russ? Is it the music? Is it his personality? What does it? Because most people I know who don't like Russ don't listen to Russ, so it can't be the music. I feel like it's he's abrasive. He's very abrasive.
Why don't we like Russ? Damn.
Like,
you ever just have that one kid that nobody likes, but nobody knows why they don't like him? Because the whole class don't like him?
Yeah, that's it. I feel like that's Russ.
Yeah, that's Russ.
I've been, a few of my friends been hip to Russ for a long time. Like on his SoundCloud days when he was just dropping music literally every day. He would drop like a song a day. Like just grinding for like years until he got to the point where he's at now. But like Russ is always, he makes dope music. He has a joint called that I was just listening to on the way here called The Nighttime Interlude, which samples Man Down by Rihanna. Joint's nuts. But I feel like when you look at his interviews or the stuff that he says, he's very abrasive. He does come off as very abrasive. It's not what he's saying, it's how he's saying, it's how he's coming off. But I tend to gravitate towards people like that. I guess maybe it's the confidence, because that's Kanye. Maybe not quite as much these days, even though he's still pretty aggressive. But old Kanye was spazzing
every single time.
Every time you talk to him. But it wasn't what he was saying. It was just how he was saying it, because you'd say something, whatever was on his heart, and then you go back. He'll come back on the next interview calmer and better,
and like explain himself.
Articulate,
and he'll like, explain himself.
Nah, I get it. Like you're like, I didn't like it at first, but he's like, nah, that actually makes a lot of sense, and that's kind of just how. So so the music's there, the grind's there. I like Russ. A lot of people don't, but I get why they don't, because delivery is key in your message. Especially when it comes to rap. Rap fans are very fickle, incredibly. Yeah. Who else am I influenced by these days? Trying to think of like names that people wouldn't know. Let me pull up my Spotify. Who I've been listening to.
Sheesh. You about to dive deep in this joint.
Yeah, man. I like I like music, man. I like dope stuff.
I can tell you definitely have a passion. The names that you're calling out, they're not names that I know.
Roddy Ricch is fire.
I just found out that he was from Compton. I was like, what the fuck? I thought the man was from Atlanta.
You wouldn't think. That's kind of the case for most people these days. Atlanta runs rap right now, runs the sound. But
it was just like the way his sound came off. It was such like Atlanta-based sound.
Very
like
much
he
so.
sounded
the production,
like yeah.
What's crazy is a lot of what gives these people away are how they speak, their pronunciation.
Yeah.
Because his music's Atlanta sounding, but then when you listen to him, how he pronounces different things, it doesn't sound. You're like, okay, no, that accent's not the same. I'm trying to think of another artist that's like that. I thought, granted, he makes kind of like more of a drill, like a UK drill sounding music, but Pop Smoke, from New York, his accent is what gives it. A$AP Rocky makes very southern music, but that New York accent's very prevalent in just certain guys. OT Genesis doesn't. He makes southern based music, but that way he sounds like a West Coast nigga. It's just that's what gives a lot of people away as far as regionally now these days. Is how do you speak? Words. How do you talk? Baby Keem. How did I forget fucking Baby Keem? Definitely my favorite artist right now as far as who I listen to consistently. And I just got hip to him like the last week or two of 2019, but I have not stopped listening since. Die For My Bitch. If you have not listened to that album, please go listen to that album and do yourself a favor.
Right, you were mentioning a whole bunch of artists I'm just not hip to. You were going to have to drop in on some of our like Past the Ox Fridays and just give us some selects.
I'm with it, dog. Just I hanging around musicians, bro. New Type Josh, another big influence, but he just gives me hip to a lot of stuff I would have never found out about, or at least not as soon as I did. What's it called? I listen to stuff from other countries like Australian drill. I got hip to randomly off of a YouTube video of Vice.
They got Australian drill?
It's fire, dog.
Okay.
They got this group called U14. Nuts. I listen to everything, dog. I grew up in alternative. I'm an alternative black kid, so this is just rap. I'm not even getting into other genres. This is just rap shit.
I haven't even met like fucking Australian rappers yet. Like I meet a lot of UK rappers and shit, but like I've yet to meet one.
I haven't met a rapper from another country yet, but I can't wait. I've just
God, you're on the internet. How's that possible?
I'll be in my own bubble, dog. I'm somewhat of an introvert. I dress like an extrovert, but I'm an introvert.
Baby Keem is Kendra's cousin. Yeah, he did. Rex played us one. He played us one of his tracks. He's pretty dope.
Yeah, he's got big credits on the Black Panther soundtrack.
Yeah,
that whole kind of sound and aesthetic Kendrick went for. A lot of that was definitely Baby Keem influence. Travis Scott's a big influence. I love Travis Scott's music, especially Astroworld is dope. And of course a lot of his earlier stuff. Who else am I listening to right now? Big influence. Outside of rap, what's it called? Tame Impala.
Mm-hmm. Tame Impala's a big name.
What's my man's name? I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. Phil Boudreaux, dope singer. This guy, he's in rap, but he's also out of rap because he can make whatever the fuck he wants. John Bellion.
I fuck with John Bellion.
John Bellion. Shout out to Tyler Donovan for getting me hip.
John Bellion,
he
used to be on Logic's record label.
Yeah.
It was just him and Logic for a long time. The rest of the artists that he had on there, him fell off.
John Bellion's a monster.
Yeah.
Artistically.
I still have like his first like mixtape / EP that he dropped under them. Like when he first like started popping.
That kid,
like him, it was him, Quest, and all them. I don't know why Quest fell off, but like he was.
I'm not sure either. Sometimes it's just
they just do.
Sometimes it's just timing.
Yeah.
What's it called? Tierra Whack. Gotta shout out the women because women are killing it in rap right now. They're doing better than the biggest big high key.
Oh yeah, you can just move yourself.
Get it, scoot. Ooh.
The rise of women after like during the whole entire clout culture of like 2017 and like 2016. Mm-hmm. So hold on, I'm gonna pause real quick. Welcome to the show, everybody. Rex McKinnis, motherfucking McKinnis. We got a piece of paper for you. Ready?
Yeah, I've been definitely shading this one eye for like a long time.
That was the one thing I loved about when that clout movement happened in 2017. most of those women rappers that popped, they didn't just fall off. Because usually, like, you'll get a couple of women rappers and they'll just fall off. But now that we have, like, such independent record labels and people can do this shit by themselves, these women have not fallen off, and you can have a lot of different female rappers that are all just really dope.
And what I like too is the content has always been there. Women have been killing it for a long time.
Fuck yes.
But there was always this stigma where there could only be one, maybe two at the most, and that goes back to the 90s. Like, you had Lil' Kim, and then Foxy popped up, and you're like, yo, why is there more? Who's better? It's like, yo, they can all just be.
They can all be dope.
And then for most of our generation, it was Nicki Moran rap when it came to women,
and we didn't know we were getting such low quality with Nicki until more female rappers came out, and then we realized, we're like, hold up, this bitch kind of suck.
let me not say low quality. I don't want to do Nicki.
I went back, like, I listen to female rappers now, and then I went back to, like, some of her earlier projects, and I listened to them all straight through. Like, before her mixtape, like, after her mixtape, it just wasn't, nothing hit. It was just pop lyrics that just didn't mean much.
She went and she got her pop bag. She did her thing. I won't say it was low quality. It was just that she monopolized it so much that that was all we were used to hearing.
Yeah, and it was a pop era too.
I'll say, like, one thing I say is that, like, I was saying this in, like, 2018. Like, dog, I got tired of just having that stigma behind just one female, and then, like, out of nowhere, like, all these women started coming out. And it wasn't that they just came out of nowhere; they were here. It's just we weren't paying attention until like the shit really came out. Like, so I think, like, for me personally, and I've always said this, I fuck with mixtape Nicki Minaj, but definitely I just did not care for. Unfortunately, I give her respect.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But like, I just didn't care.
When Nicki really wants to rap,
yeah,
she's just as good as any nigga out there. When she really wants to rap, but I respect her. She's able to make more so pop stuff. She gets that bag. I will never look down upon that. Yeah. But I do say when Nicki wants to rap, you can get a monster verse at any time. You can get a shot.
Hey, new type Josh in here.
Gang shit.
I fuck with
Rhapsody's my favorite. Rhapsody's one of my favorite. Tierra Whack is my current favorite.
I think one of my favorite that a lot of people don't give attention to is Lil Sims. She's from the UK.
Woo!
Like, so fire.
I've seen her live.
Yeah, for real?
When she she was opening up for actually no, now that I think about it, this might have been one of the greatest live shows I've seen. Anderson .Paak.
Oh, word.
And this was Malibu Anderson .Paak with the Free Nationals, and she opened up for him. Lil Sims, like Kendrick said, that was, at one point in time, that was his favorite rapper.
Yeah, bro.
She's nasty.
She started blowing up around like 15, 16, because I remember so many people were talking about her, and the next thing I know, like, she still pop, but everybody always, if someone's not in a limelight consistently, right, want to say they fell off, but she just dropped the album literally. Just dropped the album.
She getting the overseas money.
Bro, she can spit, son. Like,
she's a beast.
She's my favorite.
I'm trying to think. Lil Sims, Rhapsody, Tierra Whack is. Rico Nasty's fire, and her evolution. I think once, it's funny. I liked her during her Sugar Trap era. Yeah. But when she broke out of that, she started putting that rasp in her voice, and Kenny Beats was doing nuts.
What's good, GB? Thank you for coming in. Thank you, Josh, for coming in. You said Dreezy. I never listened to Dreezy.
Dreezy's lit.
I've heard she was dope too.
Dreezy's lit. Bia. A lot of niggas don't talk about Bia. Bia's fire.
Get hip to Baby X Sosa.
Baby Sosa is fire.
I gotta listen to some more of these women.
Baby Sosa.
Man, y'all need to start.
That's hip
shit.
Matter of fact, there's a few on my playlist. Let me pull up. There's this joint named Audrey. I just got hip to.
Oh yeah, she did the joint
with Jack Harlow.
Yeah.
Woo, she's a beast. And shout out to Jack Harlow too, out of Louisville. Another inspiration. Must fire. What's it called? There's two of them in this one, Blimes and Gifted Gab, that I just got hip to. If you want to talk about like that almost like that boom bap shit, but like updated, fire.
That shit don't ever bother me. Like boom bap shit, like I think it's just now, like it's a certain sound now, so like everybody follows a certain sound. So whether you get whoever it is, whether it's a woman or a person, it's a sound. You know what I mean? So it's like if you can ride that sound and that shit sound wavy, fuck it.
I think it's how you do it too, because a lot of people who do boom bap tend to be preachy. And that's where they start to lose people, because the sound is great, especially if it's mixed properly. The sound of boom bap is like an eternal type sound, but A lot of people tend to get preachy, and there's a fine line to walk with that. Because
Lakely 47.
You can be dope. You can be dope and still embody a certain era of hip hop without being, for lack of better terms, corny. You can definitely do that, and J. Cole's a big example of that. A lot of people call Cole corny, but when Cole wants to rap, and not preach. And even when he does want to preach, the way he does it, it's a good. He does it well. Who else has a boom bap sound? You can, or better yet,
Joey Bad. Joey's not consistent at all now.
Well, he getting another bags. He getting another bag. That's why he not doing it. Yeah, that's why he doing it.
He's definitely getting a bag.
So I respect it.
Damn, bro, where the music at?
I am waiting for some more Joey, some more pro era though. Definitely.
Damn, where the music at?
Did you two hear the new Kenny beat in
the
Denzel? What they did together was they evolved that boom bap sound into something so much more modern, and it's so prevalent. But the way that Denzel Curry spits throughout it, he pays homage to like earlier rappers, but it's also like in this boom bap state of how he's like spitting, but it's not quite boom bap. It's like a trip hop type boom bap sound, and it's so marvelous. To where you think like, yo, this shit could come back, because Denzel Curry, he's probably like one of the illest MCs right now. He's bearing his fangs a lot more so than he used to do in the past.
Too. He's blowing the hell up, and I love it.
I meant to ask too, because I was watching the whole time. I just wasn't here because he mentioned about you performing, and I saw you perform too. And that shit was dope because like I'm also a representation of the big niggas and shit like that. Because I came in a bitch with a cape and some rose-colored glasses. And
I remember, dog.
Looking, and I was just quiet the whole time. Because one person came up to me and was like, "Yo, you good?" I said, "Yeah, I'm chilling." It's like, "Oh, I'm just trying to make sure you're not about to shoot the place." I'm like, I was like, I don't know too many people here, so it's like I'm not about to be a nigga's face like, what's up, bro? Like,
you know that's a big nigga thing though. Like you can be the most mild mannered dude, but if you're a big nigga, just because you take up more space, niggas just think you off to something if you quiet, dog. You got to be goofy and shit. If you gotta like you're constantly tiptoeing around trying to look as unintimidating as possible when you a big nigga.
I'm just sitting in the corner,
especially if you big and black
I had
too.
My shit like I was like this, so it was kind of like, all right, yeah, I do kind of look like I'm doing a little much, but nah, I'm into ask two quick questions.
Yes,
First question is, what inspired, like, cause like you said you dress like an extrovert, cause I do too, but you're an introvert. They say it's ambivert. That's what it's called. So somebody that's like, you know,
it's a new term for me.
Yeah. So like, with that, what inspired you to start kind of getting into fashion and doing your own thing?
Hip hop in general. Hip hop is a very grandiose genre. Black culture in general is pretty grandiose. We like to dress a certain way. We like to make ourselves stand out. Biggest influence though, as far as how I dress, why I dress, the way at Kanye. Again, drip has kind of just been a thing with rap. And when Kanye did it, he was pulling out stuff that people didn't normally wear, especially if you're talking, or not necessarily that they didn't normally wear, he wore it differently, especially when you're talking in the black community. I'm an alternative black kid, so, you know, pulling out the pink polos with the collar up blew my mind, because that's how white kids where I live at was dressing, and I like that type of stuff, all the way up to how we dress now, where it's very rock based. The distressed jeans and the faded concert tees, the flannels, the leather jackets. Like, we took a style that may have not been associated with us and made it our own thing. And I think Kanye, Pharrell, certain eras of Wayne are like the start of that, as far as how we do it now. But Kanye, just any era of Kanye to me is fly. Yeah. From college dropout era, graduation era, stylistically is my biggest influence of Kanye. So the atrocious fucking shutter shades, but he made them work.
Yeah, he
made them work. Again, still the high collars, popping them Jones up. His aesthetic's been the same his entire career. It's been grandiose, protruding, probably more so like skinnier or like form-fitting legs, protruding sneakers, everything from the Air Yeezys, the Louis Vuitton Dons and Jaspers, the Bapes, and all the way up to the Adidas. they're big shoes. Yep. He's very big on that. When he was going through his Jordan phase, rocking the ones and stuff like that, that's just kind of been his silhouette, and I've always fucked with it. Shades, his shade game was always impeccable. What's it called?
I don't know why.
Siri always listening. Siri always listening.
She on that bullshit.
My FBI agent probably getting a kick out of this somewhere. But yeah, definitely Kanye would be the biggest influence. As far as the big niggas, Ross has always had impeccable drip for a long time, and then his just overall persona. Hove, not the biggest fashion icon, but he's just so damn cool, and he knows his lane. Like he's what he's always dressed like are just different variations of that dope boy, that high. So not even dope boy, just high level. Organized crime. So like mafia, Dawn type thing. Even now to the day where he's mixing like this Basquiat-esque thing with the hair. Then he's rocking the suits, or he's rocking the track suits. He's got the headband, no shirt and tie, just rocking it like with the big chain. His style is it's refined gangster, but it's still black.
A lot of that shit, like a lot of the '80s, how niggas used to dress in the '80s, bro. Like Big Daddy Kane and like Rakim and them, like they had drip back then.
Dapper Dan, bro.
Just literally, it went from like a style thing to like motherfuckers kind of not giving a fuck. Like it's always been style, but when we started getting into like the late '90s to the early 2000s, like shit was there, but it wasn't really like top notch like how it is now. Like niggas, you gotta be fresh now.
Well, how we dressed in high school was atrocious in comparison to how the kids dress now. Like I remember, and it's funny if you were in high school, because I'm 6'6", because I'm kind of old. I'm 27, so I'm class of 2010. So I was there for a very interesting period because every year was a different evolution. From freshman year, we were still in the baggy tees. We're still in the streetwear phase. We wore the Dadas, the Chucks, Jordans. Sure did. The big ass bandanas and the.
See, but Dipset had an evolution too, because Dipset went from the baggy shit to the rockstar shit. Sure. Niggas started switching up to that's when niggas started wearing clothes. If
niggas said they didn't have Black Label or something resembling Black Label, you're fucking lying.
You had a keychain.
I don't know if this was a DMV specific thing, but if you had the boot cut jeans, the Air Apostles or the fucking or the American Eagle jeans used to cut the slit of the jaw with some faux potters and half sets. The Nike boots, the Goa Domes, the polo boots. Like we went through some phases all within 4 years, and then come senior year, all of a sudden everyone's rocking skinnies because the jerkin era came about. I remember specifically my junior year. I'm from Cali, so I've been rocking Vans my whole life. And me and my homies, we went through kind of like this Justin Timberlake phase where we used to rock, like Vans. We rock because we listened to the Pack and shit. We'd rock we call it Boys to Men phase too. We rock the button up shirt, rock the tie, loosen that shit up, rock the fedora like niggas, or rock the Wayfarer shades, the Ray-Bans, and niggas like, what the fuck do you have on? And it's like, dog, what are you doing? We just did our own thing, and especially the jeans were a little bit tighter and stuff like that. I go off to my mom's crib. She was living in Petersburg at the time over the summer. That's the South, so they dress how they dress. I come back. Everybody got bright colors on, skinnies, Vans, and I'm like, y'all was just clowning me for the same shit.
That same shit happened when I started rocking. I don't know if you were here during the time when niggas had like the little glasses that they poked the little lens out.
Hell yeah.
I was like the first nigga to rock that and brought snapbacks back to my high school.
Yep.
And then niggas was looking at me like, oh, I'm about to flame you. I was like, bro, so what? I was like, at least I don't look like y'all. Y'all niggas don't know what y'all want to be because y'all all look alike.
Look alike, dog.
Next week, I'm not even I wish I could like, you know how sometimes you wish you can go back in your mind and like
project it. Yeah.
Like, bro, literally the next week, not even next month, the next week, the same dude that said it was gonna roast me was wearing the same shit I was rocking. I was like, I thought you was gonna flame me though. And
Hate to see it. Hate to see it.
What's called the tight backpacks up to here? Because remember the Jones used to be baggy like the clothes, used to sag them down.
Yo, Ryan just said some wild shit.
I wanted love for the longest time, but my first wife. That's why I'm on my wife's number 2.
Did you want the Birdman lugs? Yo, I can't front. I wanted me a pair of the Birdman lugs. I wanted the G. I wanted the G6s, the G Unit shits. Shit. I had a pair of the S. Carters. Like any rap. Yeah, I wanted those too. Yo. I wanted every rap sneaker that came out during that era. That was a great era, bro.
That's funny. The sneakers was that the Dadas that had the spinners in the Jones?
The Dada Spree Wells?
Yeah.
You see them? They re-released them Jones, bro.
No, for real?
They did a re-release like last year, and them shit sold out like mad, like John Quick, dog. I wanted a pair. I'm probably still gonna get a pair just for sheer nostalgia.
Because the thing is that like
them Jones didn't spin at all.
Going back, like if you notice, a lot of niggas are wearing shit from like the early 2000s and kind of like the late 90s.
It's getting baggy again. Like, the do rags, like I said, now with other cultures wearing the do rags,
jerseys.
One Jones, and any of my homies can attest to this. I said, mark my words, when the fidget spinners popped up, the spinning rim chains was gonna be next. Go to Potomac Mills. Walk into Zoomies right now, and it's a fucking spinner rim necklace. I told niggas that was gonna happen.
It's what it is.
And I'm loving it, because I'm gonna get that shit.
Hey, shout out to Shanassi and this bitch.
Hey, what's good? Super. Thank you for coming through, man.
Dadas is dummy classic. Yes, the Birdman. Game Reeboks.
I didn't even tell you my second question. So my second question was, being a big nigga, you know, we big boys 2020.
Gang shit.
I was noticing that you were harmonizing, and I do the same shit with my music. So like, when it comes to you performing, because you know we get out of breath kind of quick. You gotta, when you perform, especially for us, we have a technique where we learn how to really get that shit down pat. When you came to harmonizing, like when you made your music, was it like, all right, I want to see how this gonna sound in live, or was it just like off a type of, oh, I just like how this sounds, then I'm gonna go perform the song?
A little bit of both. I'm no stranger to singing as far as performances. I did choir for half of my life, all the way from 6th grade to my sophomore year of college. So singing was nothing new. However, I've always been self-conscious about my singing voice, so I didn't really do it on record. This last year has kind of just been a growth period of me doing things I've been afraid to do, doing things that weren't in my comfort zone, especially having a lower and a broad voice tone, and being that narrow. Today's popular voice, it's a very more so narrow voice, almost like that Drake or Big Sean, Uzi, like that type of sounding voice. And especially with auto-tune being huge, I didn't quite know how that was gonna sound or like coalesce. My brother, my doppelganger, Farrell Lorenzo, is the one who kind of opened that door for me, because he has a similar voice tone. We have that big, low Barry White-esque voice, but he's killing it with the vocals and the melodies, the falsetto, and some of that. So I'm like, if he can do it, I should be able to do it too. Don Tolliver also is somebody, I mentioned him earlier, with a very weird voice for what style of music he makes, but it works perfectly. Like, he sounds like he has that 90s like Seal voice. Like, when you hear his voice, you picture probably like a 6-foot black dude, dark as fucking charcoal, bald head, super shiny. He looks like what's my man from Tybo? Billy Blanks. That's the look you picture when you hear Don Tolliver's
and then
voice.
How he looks, like the way you're describing how he looks.
But then you see him, and then he doesn't look like that
not at all.
And then his style of singing, the way he puts together the melodies, is that it's a sound that you wouldn't think would work. Works perfectly. Yeah, it does. Works beautifully, and that's...
It like, just comes from something of you believing in yourself, because prime example, to go back to that 2000, but let's be honest, Max B couldn't sing for shit. But he made that shit work the fuck out. Had niggas singing his songs and all that. That's what made me have confidence in myself for like, bro, I can't fucking sing, but I know I can harmonize. You know what I mean? So it's like at a point now where, because there's a lot of niggas that can't sing. Like,
sure can. Most can't. Most can't nowadays.
Auto-tune. Or if they don't rely on auto-tune, they at least know they can hit a certain harmonization.
A certain range.
Yeah, and they stop because they know they can't go any further than that.
Like, look at the biggest rap artist right now. Look at Drake. Yeah. Drake doesn't have a horrible voice by any stretch of the imagination, but Drake knows his range. He stays in about a good 5-6 notes, and he sticks there. He knows what he does, and that's part of it. Just trying to figuring out what works for you. And being that I did choir for so long, I do actually have a somewhat decent range. So once I found where my I guess how my voice would sound on autotune or where my range was, I just did what I liked from there, and that's where that came from.
He said Don makes stripper music.
He makes spooky stripper music.
What's good, Don?
It describes him perfectly, though.
Yo, my man is a genius.
So who's Drake?
Yeah.
Drake ain't nobody.
Drake?
He ain't nobody.
Yo, shout out to Josh. That's so that's accurate.
But nah, man. That literally is something that could that motivates somebody. You know, somebody that don't know how to sing or somebody that does know how to sing. You know what I mean? Like, kind of give them that reassurance. Like, yo, just fucking do it. Like, stop thinking.
Yeah, dude, just do it.
Bro, it's a lot of niggas that can't sing, like we said. A lot of niggas that's not really talking about shit, but like they still have people behind them because they're like, bro, I don't give a fuck about what this person sounds like. They have that confidence.
Bruh, when you learn, like, I don't think I can sing either. But when you learn, like, you can just put like layers on top of layers when you make a song, and you just, as long as you hit a tone or like a melody perfectly, that's all a song needs. Like, you can pull anything off. Like,
big facts. And then
that's all you need.
And as far as
I would never be an R&B.
You mentioned like breath support and stuff like that too. That just comes from genetics, honestly. What's it called? My family is very athletic, and even though I'm a larger guy, that still kind of translated over to me because I did sports while doing choir. I did sports all through high school: football, track, dance. We had a dance crew and all that. So yeah, for a big dude, I have a rather large, I guess. I just have a lot of breath support, so I'm able to. And then I practice as well. A lot of people think it's all emotion, like you just get on stage and you practice. You know where you need to take breaths. I got a long phrase coming up here, or this song has a lot of words, so I'm not gonna jump around too much with this song. Like my joint Zeus. Zeus, I wrote that song back in my super rap phase. Zeus is not out yet, but I performed it a few times. I performed it at the show y'all were at. But that song has a lot of words. So I didn't, and the first time I ever performed it, I damn near died because I was sitting there jumping around doing all that, but it's like at some point it's like, nah, I gotta.
You can see this man. You can see him like when he's spitting it. You can see him like he's like God, like he's like help me God. Like you see him look up and he looks hurt. But he looks so hurt.
I'm hurt, but I'm having fun. Like it's like fuck it. If I gotta go out this way, I'm gonna.
And you keep it going. You don't care. Like you like okay, I missed that line. I'm gonna keep this shit going to the end of the song.
Because it's a pet. Oh, sorry. It's a pet peeve of mine when I see people perform and they're not rapping half the time, or they're not saying their words half the time. It's like, and especially too, because like I don't have. Once I get to a certain point, I'll have performance tracks for my joints. But as of right now, I don't have performance tracks. So I'll be damned if I'm gonna let my own background vocals out rap me. Yeah. So I'm gonna get through as many of these words as I can. Fuck it. I'm a Kendrick fan. I love rigor mortis. I'm gonna take enough breaths, but I'm gonna get through these verses when I sing along to rigor mortis, and that's just kind of how I treat it.
You been mashing me down. That shit's so fucking hard.
Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna ask you. Goddamn. Okay, so I was gonna say, like, because a lot of the times, like, when I look at music, like, I've noticed that everyone just believes nowadays when you perform, it's just about turning up, and I fucking hate that, bro, because it's like everybody done seen Travis Scott so much now, and a lot of these like rappers nowadays that just perform how they perform. I can just go off back and name a bunch of people, but everybody believes that you just need to turn up all the fucking time, and that's not what a performance is. A performance is you having cadence with your music. A performance is how you react to the crowd, and that how you're staring at the crowd. Because a lot of times I've seen people perform and they got their head down like this, or they're looking all over the place. a lot of times when I'm performing and I notice like people are talking or something, they're not paying attention, I'm gonna stare at you dead in your face and keep rapping my lyrics just like this and keep going. So it's like really, cause like you said, you're alternative, so I know for a fact you've seen a lot of rock performances.
Sure,
and stuff.
I have.
Like that's where I got a lot of my influence from looking at like how they cater to a crowd and just like one of the best performances that R.I.P. Freddie Mercury from Queen was one of the best fucking performances. Unfortunately I wasn't born, but I saw many videos of just how they can bring the high and get everybody hyped and just kind of mellow it out and settle the tone. And then even Prince, like it's just going to the situation of everything just don't gotta be you just turning up the entire time. But when you bring that,
there's dynamics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like it brings different coordination to show that you can actually perform. So it's like us as big dudes, especially us, we gotta have that coordination because it's like just like you said, if we're jumping around the entire time, but we're gonna be winded by the time the next song come on.
And when you can't, and voice projection is big too. People want to hear you, especially if you have your track playing in the background. People want to hear you. You're not, and a lot of people, they're. And this, I think that's something that comes with repetition. The more you perform, your performance is not going to, and it's not supposed to sound like what your record sounds like. Because that's kind of an old example would be like the old Soul Train episodes from when we were kids. At the time you didn't know any better as a kid, but it's like, okay, yo, these guys sound exactly like how they do on the record. In reality, you get older and you know better, they're lip syncing, and that's not cool. No. It's not cool really with any genre, so especially not rap, as fickle as we are. And so and that's the issue with a lot of people or a lot of performers now, is that they're turning up the entire time and they're not saying the words, or they haven't practiced vocal projection and they're being drowned out by their own vocals. Because going back again to my brother Tyler Donovan performs sitting down a lot of these days now, just because of the surgery and stuff he's had on his back. But he can outperform your favorite turn up artist because of his energy, his vocal projection. You'll hear that man from the parking lot. That comes from our choir background too. You will hear that man, and you will hear everything he says. He could be singing, rapping super slow, or rapping a mile a minute, and you're gonna catch every word.
Oh hell yeah! I appreciate that, John. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you a lot, man. That's what we're here for, man. I like to talk about music, man, and it's good to hear that you like actually have an ear for not just hip hop, but just for music in general, and know about projection and things of that nature. Because, like I said, I find myself getting bored with a lot of shit nowadays. Because it's like I want to see those artists that I love. I like talking to people that's alternative. Because we were the alternative kids, us black alternative kids. Like I could never say all three of us were definitely that, because we were probably those kids that people just either thought was weird or some other shit, because we tried to, just like we were talking about the fashion shit.
We dressed weird. We were in the anime or comic books. We're just in a difference. Why are you listening to the Blink 182? Why are you listening to this? You got all this hip hop and R&B over here. I'm listening to that too. But
yeah, I heard that shit.
But I could listen like.
But y'all played that shit like 20 times. Like I'm bored. Like, give me some new shit. Y'all the reason I'm listening to fucking Naruto openings, dog. I'm bored.
I'm over here listening to like fucking Radiohead, and niggas is like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, bro, it's a band, bro, that's been out since you were a kid. I don't know what that is. I was like, because you don't want to go out your way to listen to it. You just like, and not to judge. I don't judge anybody that does choose to listen to just one genre. Right. I tell people, like, you hear all these samples. Why don't you go out your way to
hear what they, and especially nowadays, and I think a lot of it comes down to is the way we digest, or the way we get music. As kids, the technology era wasn't as booming as it is now. Nowadays, there's no excuse to not have music that you like, because our apps do it for us. Name an artist you like, they'll find a million people that you'll like for you. So there's no excuse for that. But back then we had the radio, and this is even as little kids. This is before we were able to download stuff. So you had the CDs that your parents had at the crib, the bootleg joints, and the mixtapes are the ones that they bought you. So the radio was big for me as far as me getting into other genres. My dad had all the CDs on bootleg, so that's where I listened to most of my rap from. And my mom, she was more so in the soul, neo soul, so I like Kim, Lauryn Hill, but then like we had like older at the time going up to like John Legend and stuff, Boys to Men. So that was more on my mom's vibe. But for me, my initial influence was like rock, alternative pop, because we grew up in California, a small marine-based town called 29 Palms. We had one fucking radio station at the time because it's smack in the middle of the desert, like in the middle of nowhere. The closest Walmart was a half an hour away.
Shit. In
Yucca Valley. So we had Z1077. It was very specific, but it was also some parts of it were syndicated. But most of what it played during the day was like Nickelback, Evanescence, like getting that like rock stuff. And then at night around like 6-7 o'clock, the primetime hours, that's when you got the hits. So you got a lot of pop. You had what's it called, like stuff like Mambo Number 5 would play. Then you had your rap hits, and you had your the R&B at the time. You had like Usher, and you had like the main stuff you got. But so any rap I listened to was mostly because of my dad and the music he played at the time. But that was my influence, was that rock and pop stuff like that. And I didn't really get into hip hop until I moved to the East Coast, where then you got your 93.9s, your 95.5s. I remember hearing Go-Go for the first time. This shit was trash to me. And I did not like it for a long time.
I played that shit down when I went down to Georgia.
When you from here, you know it's like it's embedded in you. Like that's or if you've been here from a young age. But I got here when I was 10 years old, so I'm like, the hell is this pots and pans trash I'm listening to?
Even when you from here, it still kind of takes time to grow on you.
So
you're just like, what the fuck is this?
I remember the first time the person who got me like willing to somewhat give Go-Go a chance was Wale. Because if you're from here, if you've lived here long enough, you know Wale's been the man for a long time. So I would hear Go-Go and I'm like, yo, I don't like this shit. But then I remember the first one I heard that I like I heard it was like this cool, dope piano intro. And it's know how to keep it gangsta and keep it. And I was like, okay, this sounds kind of cool. And then the beat drops, the beat drops, and then some dude just starts rapping. And I'm like, whoa! What the hell is this?
It was fire.
I was like, yo, this is crazy. You know, I remember the first
it's
time.
Like that moment where you're like, I shouldn't like this, but I do.
The first time I ever heard my name Wale, don't say Wale, changed my life. And again, for the longest, I still didn't really like Go-Go. But if he was on it, if he was doing a verse over it, loved it. And then I just grew accustomed to hearing it, even though I didn't like it. Then I went to college. Out in West Virginia. Again, no real radio stations out there, but we got the internet now, so most of what I'm listening to is just, this is the blog era, Two Dope Boys and all that. So we just listening, Pac Div and all this different stuff.
Damn, bro.
And then earlier Drake and all that. Earlier Big Sean Cutter.
I miss that.
Great period of time for music. What's called XV, Vizzy X to the V. But yeah,
I can keep going.
But we listening to that was what I was listening to away at college. And then we're in the middle of nowhere, so anytime we come home, we're on this long ass. Well, to me it's long, but it's like a 4-hour drive, and there's no real radio. So if you don't got an aux, you just kind of screwed, or you got to listen to whatever CDs are there. Yeah. But how we know we're close to civilization, close to home, is like, okay, let's try the radio now and see what we find. And you hit a 93.9 or 95.5. And you hear Go-Go start playing. You're like, we're home, and that was what like made me start loving Go-Go. So now I listen to it like I listen to any other genre, but it just took a while.
Go-Go Live is definitely a big difference between Go-Go on the radio. Like you definitely understand it.
The energy's crazy.
It just sucked because I remember I actually went to a Go-Go in DC. I forgot what the venue was, bro, but like. It just kind of sucked. That's why, like, because I know, like, when we were growing up, Go-Go was, like, really big, and it kind of faded out. It's still
that was the golden era.
Yeah, but it's like, niggas just fought too fucking much, bro. Like, and that's what killed the vibe. Because
Yeah.
when I actually went to one in DC, bro, niggas started shooting.
All the time. They
I
always
was like, I ain't never coming back to this shit. I was like, I see it. And the niggas live there, so they're like, bro, this is just what
this
it
just
is.
yeah, they know that.
That's what it was.
Like, well, I'm from Virginia, so
bro, nobody could not, like, if you went to the go-go, there was never a chance where it didn't get followed by, and then they start shooting.
That's a fact.
It's just, that's always what happens.
Always like that, but like 95%. Like
it was, there has to be a shooting with a go-go.
Like,
and
when they started doing the shit in Virginia, like, it was cool, but the thing about it is, it was also that time where we had a difference, because a lot of the time DC niggas would not fuck with Virginia niggas.
Still don't.
Well, yeah, still don't. It's like, oh, you from Virginia, you soft, like, y'all don't listen to go-go, da-da-da-da. And it's like, bro, we respect the culture just as much as we don't live out here, and y'all live in this, unfortunately, this whack-ass place. Like, not whack, I don't mean to say DC whack, but I mean, like,
y'all live in this, y'all live in this situation, yeah.
Is what I mean, like, you know what I mean?
But you gotta think, most of our parents work here.
Yeah, like.
So yeah, and we go like we're right down the road from you guys. So yeah, we're heavily still influenced by DC culture, and we're in out of the DMV. That's just kind of how we're looked at. We're looked between DC, Maryland, Virginia. We're looked at as the redheaded stepchild, and especially Nova and just the Virginia alone. People like Richmond's got its thing, 757's got its thing, but they look at Nova like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they say Woodbridge's not even part of the DMV, and I said I think Woodbridge is the last part of the DMV.
I guess it's whatever you associate it with. I think most people say the DMV is where the metro stretches.
Yeah, that's what they
so
say,
so which would count as which Springfield would be the closest. Which I mean is cool. Yeah. I don't rep the DMV as much. I'm happy when people from DC make it. I'm happy when people from Maryland make it. Maryland has a lot of my favorite artists right now. But for me, I'm from Virginia because that's how they look at it. So I'm from in Virginia. Yeah, I'm from Nova.
I respect the DMV thing, like, but it's so funny because it's just like, this is the prime example. You talked about Wale earlier, the unity. It's like the Northern Virginia is starting to get a lot better. I see
yes,
because I talked to many people that come here, and I told niggas why, like, a lot of people haven't heard of me because I kept to myself, and just more so the fact of going through the motions, because a lot of the times I noticed, like, there were artists back then. Of course, I'm not about to say no names because I don't want nobody to think I'm throwing shade. But it was artists that was in this area that was just 1 minute they cool, next minute they start making moves, they switch up on you, and niggas start acting different. I'm like, fuck off.
Or you start making moves.
Yeah, and they start hating on you. So it was like, it got to a point where it's like I just started keeping to myself, but then I started seeing more love go around, and I'm like, all right, but then it's just the DMV shit is still not there. It's a reason why the entertainment industry's still not looking at the DMV. It's a lot of Maryland artists that's making moves, but as together, it's like they look at Atlanta, they look at like a lot of the people that's popping up from New York or California, but it's like we still don't have that spotlight.
It's getting there, and I think the people who are in the know that this if you want to make it, or if you want to do music, or you want to just do art as your life, and you live in Nova, you live in the DMV, or you live in Virginia, like in its entirety. The magnifying glass for the people who are in the know is shifting to this area, to this state, quickly. Yep. And like, so, I'm just like, drop stuff, but drop top tier, drop good music, make the best songs you can. Understand, we're all children of the trap era, so we know the Gucci's. You drop rapid fire, and that's great especially if you got a formula that works like Gucci, where you don't really got to switch it up. But for the rest of us, the other 99% of us, take time, work on your craft, work on your performances. If you record it and it's not it, record it again. If it's mix it and it's not it, mix it again.
Definitely.
But put your best foot forward, because they're looking. Yeah. They're looking at Virginia right now, and in Virginia, give it a year. I say within the next 1 to 3 years, Virginia will be going through like what Memphis is going through right now, what Charlotte's about to go, Charlotte, North Carolina, because of the baby. Because all it takes is that one guy. That one guy's going to pop, whoever's first. And then the eyes are going to be pointed. And this is such a hotbed of talent, of unknown and untapped potential as well. Not just music, every aspect of it, just culture in general. Because this is most of the people here are from government or military, so
it's gonna spread
from
over.
Here all over the world. We got different influences, different sounds, different things to bring to the table. It's just showing it. But
hey, Teva TV.
What's up? She said recorded. If that's not it, record again. I feel that. Yeah, not dead ass. Like
always.
I think
shout
like
out. Yeah, man.
is, and I'm definitely because like I was before we started interviewing you because like we were supposed to interview last week, but I told them like because I didn't make it unfortunately. I was like, can we take it next week? Because I actually want to sit and chop it up because it was from the show that I was like, yeah, I would like to chop it up with this dude because like I said, for me, I love fashion. So first and foremost, I saw the fashion. So I was like, all right, bet. Big nigga, drip. It's not too many of us out here.
It really ain't, dog. Like, I'm putting on, dog. We putting on.
A lot of big niggas about fashion because a lot of them not into it because they don't make shit in our size a lot of the time.
And you gotta find it. Bruh. We got a lot. We got a lot more stuff now than we did back in the day. Like we got jokes like ASOS, some Bahuman and stuff that's putting out some drip for the big homies, But yeah, it's difficult, dog. Every when you buy jeans, for whatever reason, if your waist is above a 42, they think your ankles are like are like 20-inch rims, dog. Them joints be wide, and if you're not dedicated, you're not about to go take your joint to the tailor and get it cut. You just gonna rock them ugly ass, big ass cover in your shoe jeans.
Titties hanging out. I'm just like, I'm like, so what the fuck?
It be too tight sometimes, like because
I'm like, this the drip though, right? Like, this
the drip though. Like niggas was dedicated. I took ask my homies. I took my stuff to the cleaners. I got them joints cut, got them hemmed up if they was too long, if it was too wide. I got them tapered in. But now they make stuff for us, so now I can get a pair of jeans from ASOS, and I don't gotta get it altered. It fit, stuff like that, and then. I love it, and I love that athleisure is a big thing now because sweatpants can be rocked by anybody. It's just rock what you rock. I'm wearing Fear of God sweats right now because them shits fit because fucking elastic is beautiful.
Fuck yes. Sportswear,
Fog Essentials. I'm sorry, I can't afford
style
and
made everybody feel like they can wear their own style. Yeah. Sportswear, bruh, it's changed how people see style. Like. People they walk around in like leggings, stuff that's meant to run. They wear like sports bras and shit. It's just like regular fashion now. Like, and they don't care. They don't even work out. They're just like, fuck it. I'm just going to Walmart in this shit.
I wear Adidas pants all the
bro.
I have like 10 different.
Sportswear is streetwear right at this moment. And it's the biggest market.
Like, look at biggest artist probably in the world right now. Look at Beyonce. You had House of Darion for a while. You don't hear that much no more. When she rock it, Ivy Park, athleisure. She's working with Adidas.
Deadass.
Adidas has definitely stepped their fucking game up within the last couple of years.
Because they knew they weren't gonna get the top tier athletes. Nike and Jordan got that on lock, so they went to the artists, and Nike wasn't doing that as much.
Just to address some things that were said in chat earlier, I'm surprised more DMV artists don't sample old go-go. The reason that a lot of artists don't sample go-go is when we interviewed one Papito who's from DC and he's been in go-go bands for a long period of time, most of the go-go artists, they don't actually record or put their stuff out onto platforms. They just not a big genre for go-go for that reason because these bands
or a lot of it's just live performance recordings.
And it's like, but you can record, you can't put it out on Spotify. They have this ability, they just don't, and they have an ability to keep that culture alive. They just don't. Yeah, and
that's terrible.
So that may be something that we as rappers and other artists need to step up and do, like we've done with every other genre. We've given different songs new life.
Yeah.
With the flips that we've done. So that may be something we need to do is start sampling some of these. If we can find a decent quality mix of a go-go song, or if the live recording is decent enough quality while they
link up with some of these bands.
Link up with some of these bands. They're here, especially with what they're doing now. That thank God to whoever the racist people were for trying to shut down that long-standing place in DC because they were playing go-go music.
Yeah.
And Mochella popped up. Thank you for being fucking ignorant because go-go is having a resurgence right now, and we definitely need to.
T-Mobile did that.
T-Mobile did do that.
Like, the head of T-Mobile was like, because they were complaining because it was near a T-Mobile store, and the president of T-Mobile was like, nah, like the president was like, nah, and then literally they talked to him, did a whole fucking thing. I forgot where.
Oh, that's a cool nigga.
It was on the street of Houston. It was thousands.
They shut that shit.
Cool
it was a lot of people, and it was peaceful.
Yeah, exactly.
It was love. It was unity, and that's like, so shout out to that. And yeah, we need more. I'll be down for that.
She said, what about titties being out?
Yeah, she crazy.
Wear whatever you want. When you can style it, who gonna gonna check you exactly.
Oh no, big facts.
So
you can't tell me I don't dress nice. You're lying.
Nah, you got style, bro.
You're
you
lying.
got style.
I'm not cocky about much, but if you tell me I can't dance, you tell me I can't rap, and you tell me I can't dress, you're lying.
Bro, true shit, because you show it. You definitely show it and you can prove it. So you have a very big passion for music, and you definitely wanted us to ask you, like, what are your interests outside of music? And I would assume that it's mostly fashion or, like...
Fashion. I enjoy sports, not as much these days, but I still keep up. Football, basketball, tiny bit of hockey, not really baseball, but I'm trying to get more into it.
Did you see XFL?
I didn't, but I'm sick that I missed it because everyone's saying it's fire, and I'm watching the next game definitely because I'm shout out Vince McMahon. Wrestling, I've gotten back into wrestling. Shout out to Comp from the 703. Shout out to Omar the Groove, getting me back into that shit. Nick's calling me, and usually I do want to get Nick on the phone, but I'm in an interview, so I will not get him on the time. But if you're listening to this, or if anyone who's listening to this has contact with Nick, just tell him to text me, and I will look at that shit. What's it called? Anime and comics are the biggest thing I'm into right now. Comics for a long time was the forefront, and now, damn, Wonton's calling me too.
Oh, they all hitting you up.
It blowing me up.
Shit.
But now
they need something drastically.
The anime is the biggest thing I'm into right now.
Yeah, what is your favorite?
Current anime, My Hero Academia, all time One Piece.
Bro.
And One Piece is also kind of current too.
A few of my friends love One Piece. It's just too many fucking episodes, and I just don't got the time.
No, you got the time. You'll make a commitment for One Piece.
I'm not.
Oh my god.
I don't want to make that commitment. I'm just gonna be on the outside looking in forever.
It's like JoJo's. You gotta make a commitment to JoJo's. You gotta make a commitment.
Way more jumps, and I think it's way more
JoJo's
because
first,
like JoJo's like the anime stopped at the 5th one, I think, and I hope to God, because they're talking about if fans are still gonna rally together, they may drop the 6th one, and the 6th chapter is my favorite chapter with Jolene, Jotaro's daughter.
Jotaro.
But yeah, no, I think like with One Piece, I see how spectacular people, how spectacular like the fan base could be. Because I be on Twitter and that shit be trending. Like they still go on about the goddamn manga, and that's one thing.
Yeah,
if
bro.
you could hold yourself to the top from the late 90s to now,
it's like the longest standing shonen
it's
right
fucking
now.
lit.
It's man.
Said, One Piece. What you mean, One Piece?
I mean, everyone's got their opinions. And I will say this too with One Piece, especially if you weren't into it early. It's very. I'm an exception, but it's very difficult to get into it late because of how many the sheer amount of episodes that there are. They're like, if they're not in the thousands right now, they're about to hit the thousands. And again, and that's not even counting the manga chapters now. The manga's even further. But for me, I just found I got into it late, but I started watching it. I enjoyed it, and then I ended up just like becoming damn near an expert on One Piece.
The thing about One Piece that most people don't understand, it's not like so much about the characters in the show. It's about how imaginative the artist is when he goes into a story or an adventure. Because the islands and like the places he'll dream up or like he'll make, they'll be like so crazy. Like he has this one arc called Skytopia, and it's just like something you would never imagine. It's like reading an adventure book of like where adventures go to places that just don't make sense. And the way he builds those together, each arc has something special about it. One arc might not be for you. It might not. Skip it. Who gives a fuck? It's not like there's going to be a lot of character development in that. A lot of the characters in One Piece, they don't have a lot of character development. They stay the same character from the get-go. So skip around. See what you like. There's always going to be something dope. He pieces together each like story to fit into like its own crazy universe. And then he combines them all by using islands.
That's too much for me personally. I only do about 5 seasons.
Just find what you like, dog. Because some stories, they be like some stories in One Piece, they really are like job boring. But then some are like really lit. And you're just like, damn, how do you come up with like alleyways and stuff, and like how buildings can be shaped like this, or how a whole entire community could live like this, or have structures like this, and it's all around water, or it's all like all up in the sky, or this place is all filled with poison or some shit like that. And he just makes it work, or like it's all under the sea. It's like a very dope ass take on like The Little Mermaid or something like that. And he'll just figure it all out. And he's like, this is all from one guy. Yeah. Just dreaming, thinking this shit up.
The fact that he's still in it too, like he's still committed and just keep coming up with new, fresh ideas all the time is amazing. Because a lot of anime, like a lot of manga, they start off and they either start waning out, or they may come back and have a resurgence, or they just stop it. Like it just it's like that with. Unfortunately, one of the most disappointing animes or mangas ever is Bleach. I'm so to this day I'm heartbroken, bro. How Bleach,
you know what?
Bro, like it started.
I agree. I agree.
It's still one of the like people still talk about Bleach because it's still a great thing, but it's just I hate how great it started and how it just fucking fizzled out, bro. Cause
that nigga wasn't ready.
Oh, it could have been one of the best, bro. Like
it could have been. Oh, man, bro. It's trying terrible.
I'm stressed the fuck out, bro. Can I get up real quick?
You stressed me out. I had to get up.
With Bleach, Bleach started off so well, and then at some point in time, they made
something a mistake.
No, I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened. They made Ichigo punk, dog.
They made him OP too, though.
Towards
the OP as fuck.
They made him OP towards the end towards the end of the Aizen arc, but up until then. He lost a lot. Like once he beat the captains, after that, he lost a lot. Like he just kept losing. I'm like, why is the main protagonist, the guy with the most plot armor in the entire show, just losing? And you got to think his crew is nowhere near him in terms of power. So really, the captains are doing all the heavy lifting once you get to the Aizen arc. But like, what's it called? I forgot. The dude with the arm, with his Chad, all that power kept losing. Orihime is the most useless character in anime. She can heal, she can do all that, and just didn't do anything. She was just fodder, bro.
Bro, I hate when they have these characters that come out and then they just turn to shit. Like, I'm sorry, but I had this gripe with Dragon Ball, and people always try to argue with me about it, and I get it. But like when Trunks came. And Trunks just fucked Frieza up. Like
I thought you meant Dragon Ball.
Great introduction.
Yeah. Great introduction. But then afterwards, he was still doing work, but he was getting punished. Like,
because his power level they introduced him at. Like he wasn't. Vegeta wasn't going toe to toe with Cell. Trunks damn well ain't going toe to toe with Cell. That's just not going to happen. And the same thing with the androids too. He was just too weak for that period of time, and I think that's why. One Piece fans are so die hard is because even outside of Luffy, the Straw Hat Pirates themselves, every single one of them have such. They all go hard, but the stories are all fascinating. Even if they
inspire you, they inspire the fuck out of you.
Even outside,
they will touch your heart. They will hit that little child inside of you that you think like that nigga gone, he dead. They will hit that nigga and be like, nah, he's still there.
If you get outside of the Straw Hats, the world that Eiichiro Oda has crafted is so detailed. And it's great. Like there's and the world is not centered around the main character, and that's what I love about it. Like that's how, and like generally in most anime, especially when it comes to shonen, everything is based based around the main character. So if he don't move, the rest of the world don't move.
Exactly.
With One Piece, the world is gonna operate
because that's what it's all about.
Does anything or not, he's got to prove himself. That's the whole. He wants to be the Power King. That's the whole
on that
thing
grind.
Of the show. And like, there's no with most shows you may have like the only overpowered characters are like the main antagonist and maybe a supporting one here. But One Piece, there's like Luffy's not even close to being the strongest guy like by leagues and bounds.
Even like the main antagonist is kind of like they're all shaky water.
Like, they're not even you got Blackbeard. Again,
and even he's like
powerful, but you got all the Yonko, Kaido, Shanks, Big Mom, rest in peace, Whitebeard. Mm-hmm. You have the Marine admirals, what's it called, Admiral Sakazuki, Fujitora, Kizaru, former Admiral Kuzan. You have Luffy's fucking dad, Monkey D. Dragon. You have his granddad, Vice Admiral Garp, former Fleet Admiral Sengoku. Like, these niggas are just beyond powerful. And then when you stretch back into the past and the lore, you're just finding about new people that are just like Odin. Like, these guys are nuts. And it's like, you just don't run out of things to be interested in.
And it's like, also, no matter how overpowered any character is in One Piece, they can still be brought down, but just like
doesn't matter.
They make it real. They make it real as shit.
I kid you not. I'm sorry if I spoil this for anybody.
A lot of shonens don't do that. They'll be like, guns are useless after a while. But like this shonen, like they like, nah, this shit still work, homie. It's still gonna cap your ass. Bitch, press whatever the fuck you want, my nigga.
Niggas will have $1 million bounties. Bow, bow.
It's dead, bro.
Like if you get to a point where guns don't work on you, that's when you know you strong.
Yeah.
And that's where like people are now. Like Zoro cutting through your bullets and then ain't doing nothing. But like no matter like you'll have ones where like the main character will have a fight, but they'll still lose. Mm-hmm. They don't get one-shotted. Nah. Luffy today will get one-shotted the fuck out of here. Like, nigga, you not a king of shit right now. Get out of here.
Yeah, bro. They'll throw that nigga. Like
get him out.
They let it know. They like, yo, this nigga's just 17, bro. Like, he said, we've been doing this shit forever.
You got a long way to go, big
bro.
dog.
They throw that nigga to the side a lot.
Let me show.
They don't give a fuck.
Let me show you how to do this, young blood. That's pretty much what they saying to him.
I think that's where Bleach kind of fucked up because they threw that man. They started us off in such like. They started the manga and like the story off in such an area where you thought it was going to go one way, and they just completely throw that man to the side and they throw him into this like whole entire like new society of like you didn't expect it to go this far, and they focus too heavily on the Soul Society. It's like I don't even care about these characters. I joined watching the show to watch a kid be a Soul Reaper while also fighting demons or some shit or whatever the fuck I was supposed to be watching, and now I'm just kind of confused. And now there's like a plot and something about the world gonna be destroyed, but I don't know why he cared about the world. I'm kind of confused throughout most of this shit. And I watched the whole entire story, and I was just like, yo, they could have taken it back and kind of edged you into caring more about like their world and why these things were attached, but they never gave you like that connection. So you kind of never gave a fuck. You kind of had to more so care about the characters, and that's if you like the characters. But it's still like these new niggas. Who the fuck are they?
And then Ichigo too with Bleach, his character got mad convoluted because at first he was a regular guy, then he was a Soul Reaper. Then he was a Hollow. Then he was a Quincy. Then he's a I forgot what the other. He's like 5, 6 there, and they just keep adding shit to him. And it's like, dog, what the hell?
Settle your shit down.
Like make him one thing and make him good at that. But
keep that shit consistent.
So is there any like older animes that you fuck with? Because recently,
of course,
that I found a new. I found a couple jobs I told them about that on Twitch that helps me sleep now. That I've discovered so many different like older anime OVAs now. Like I was just watching one called Vampire Hunter D that was so fun. Then Gunsmith Cats. Like bro, I can keep going, but it's so many older anime. Like I can't front. I kind of missed the like late 80s to the 90s
early 90s. They had way better stories.
Yeah,
because they didn't have the same technology and the same animation to be able to kind of like nowadays that like the over the top fight scenes are a lot of what puts these anime over the top. You have exceptions like My Hero Academia, just is one of the ones that has both great story, great animation. The new Demon Slayer, Vinland Saga, like some of these new Jones have really stepped up. But a lot of these old ones are Yu Yu Hakusho, Inuyasha, Case Closed. What else? Cowboy Bebop. Like a lot of these Jones had like Yu Yu Hakusho is my favorite as far as the old anime goes. As far as the old anime, that's my Berserk is the most gutter anime nigga ever, and I challenge you want to find someone more gutter than guts, bro.
Nah.
Gangster.
Nah.
No, I say gutter, not powerful, just gutter.
This nigga will this nigga's like, I'm losing the fight.
I don't care
I gotta do some radical shit now.
I don't care. I will cut my arm off. I will like with that
nigga will do anything
with
to
half a sword.
Have you seen Gantz?
I saw my list. I haven't peeped it yet.
Oh, Gantz is like
it's crazy.
Yeah. Like nigga, like I don't want to say that because that's probably gonna spoil it. But I just want to say, bruh, that shit is fucked up. Like you thought Berserk was fucked up. Like it's up there with Berserk. Like it's a fucked up anime because there's some shit that happened. You think like you ever watch Game of Thrones at all?
Yes.
You know how you
late to that, but yeah, I caught up.
And then like.
They will off them without a moment's notice, and they will not go back to it. I love stuff like that. Yeah, because matter of fact, there's a shorter joke like that that I just watched. What's that joke called? Oh, why am I forgetting it? I'm mad. Hold up. I'll remember it in a bit, and I'll tell y'all. But there's another joke that I just watched that's like that. It does not matter. They will how main of a character they will off
that nigga.
They will. I love stuff like that. It keeps it interesting.
So you said you got late to Game of Thrones. Did you read the books?
No, I didn't read the books.
I would say audio.
I didn't. By that time, I just didn't have the attention span.
That's a commitment. Shit.
And really, I didn't.
You to read anime and manga, nigga, and One Piece.
Big facts.
Yeah, it got pictures though.
And I didn't.
What? Grow up, nigga. What are you, 15? The fuck? Did you hear this nigga?
Got pictures. They got pictures.
No, bro.
Listen, man, I started watching TV when anime came out, bro. I'm more inclined to read that shit. I didn't start watching TV.
watching TV when anime was starting to pop in America because we didn't really.
Oh yeah, anime.
That's the
was
only
like,
thing I got.
Anime was
That's
big
the only thing I would
old
come
one
home and
time.
watch. I didn't give a shit about anything else.
Our parents like the most they got was Speed Racer, Astro Boy, and probably fucking
Voltron. People forget Voltron's anime.
That was like the 80s. Like so when it started like the 70s, they only got like shit here and there, like Kimbo the White Lion. That's where they got niggas be capping.
Big facts.
Then like the 80s kind of had shit here and there, but Akira popped off. Started being
Akira.
Yeah, it came to America and people were fucking fascinated by anime. But when we were growing up, that's when anime really started blowing the fuck up.
Fuck yeah.
It started getting on television, and then you started getting all these like dubs, and then we started realizing that some dubs is better than subs, and a lot of subs are better than dubs. So,
Yeah.
You ain't gotta be a snob about it, but I'm happy.
Yeah, because that's always a big thing too. Is the sub versus dub.
Yeah,
it's definitely the company, and it's a lot of
Funimation. Their dubs be off as fuck sometimes, and then like
get that man,
and you get a different company that does anime like Aniplex or like somebody else. Like their voice actors will be spot on with the Japanese joints, and they'll be like, okay, I can really get into the emotion or the feel of this. Because Funimation does this recycle. They like to start shit out there, man.
Heck, My Hero Academia, it's character based.
Yeah.
So like in the, I prefer Deku's voice in the dub.
I do too, honestly.
Because it's just not super. He already screams a lot and cries a lot, so you don't need his voice to be extra high pitched. But then you got someone like Bakugo, whose voice is pretty much the same on either side. But then you got All Might, who sounds great in both as well.
Yeah.
But All For One, I'm gonna say sounds better in the sub. Like, it's just like he sounds.
The Japanese, they just do dark voices
because
it comes from the chest. When they speak, it comes from the fucking chest.
It's an aggressive language.
I say like,
yes.
I like the My Hero dub, but I like the Demon Slayer sub.
I would agree.
Because like it's just something about.
I like the One Piece sub better.
Yeah, it's something about Tanjiro's voice in Japanese that I just like better. It's just I don't know what it is, bro. It's just to me,
it's just more.
Thank you for saying it. It's just about how you hear it, because a lot of people, they give me the most bullshit reason why they prefer dubs over subs or like subs over dubs, and they're like, because it don't match up. I'm like, well, if you can understand Japanese, the subs don't fucking match up to what they're saying either.
That goes back to what we were talking about with performing.
Thank you, DJ Pressplay. Thank you, DJ Pressplay. I love you, bro.
That goes with
he said he lost
more so the fact of how the characters represented it. Even when a character is yelling and screaming, bro, like it gives you that bass. Voice means a lot.
Yes.
It sure does.
It's like there's times where, like I said, I like dubs better than that. Like unfortunately, I like Dragon Ball Z's dubs. Like,
yes,
I
can't stand Goku.
I prefer Goku's voice is so jarring in the sub.
That shit's annoying.
I prefer the dub.
It's just so high, dog.
Yeah, like,
I can't do it.
And it's constant.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a woman at first.
Me neither. I wasn't hip.
When I found that shit out, I was like, oh, okay. And like the sub's cool, but it's something about the dub. I grew up with it, bro.
It's also what you're based on, what you're used to listening to. We know a certain voice for Goku. Yeah. So like when you hear the other one, you're like, I don't know.
I can't do it. It takes me out.
I've been playing Kakarot, so like I switch it back and forth every now and then. Like I like Piccolo's voice in Japanese, but I also just it's something about Chris Sabat that just him. At first, I didn't realize that he was Vegeta and Piccolo, but then like when you listen closely, you can hear the Piccolo and Vegeta. Sometimes you can hear the Vegeta and Piccolo. You're like, oh shit, this man's a genius, bro. Like,
yes.
And sometimes it's just pure aesthetic, like pronunciation. Like the Japanese version or Japanese words for this just sound better than the English version. Like when Luffy does his moves, gum pistol sounds cool, but gumu no sounds way better. It just
way more ferocious.
It just sounds cool. It just sounds better. That's all it is.
That's a whole fact. Do you think also? Because I think like. I keep asking fashion questions because, like I said,
no, bring it back, man. I can never talk too much about fashion.
Anime inspires some of your style as well.
Definitely, that's man.
Oh, he was just showing me some sneakers.
The day I get that call from from Funimation or for any of these Jones, and it's like, yo, I need you to help me design these characters, design the fits for them, I'm quitting rap. What?
I know that's right.
What?
That's right.
or at least it's not gonna be my main focus. But yeah, definitely.
I would assume like you get a lot of like influence fashion wise from like the areas you're in. Also, like you said, you bounced around from Cali to VA a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like how much so? Like from what age? Like how long were you in Cali before you came here, or like were you bouncing back between the like two?
No, it was definitely a one-time move. I was born in Cali, lived there till I was 10, and then I moved to Virginia. I went back for like 2 summers and 2 like winter vacations because my mom was still out there. But once she moved to Virginia, I have no family. I was a military kid, so I never had a reason to go. I haven't been back since I was 12. But regionally, yes, definitely those both growing up in the DMV and growing up in Cali influenced me, but really it's kind of I like regional style in general because I like different elements of what people dress, like where they're from and the lore, I guess, or like why they do it. So in Cali, I enjoy the skater attire. The skate culture is way bigger out there, or was at least in the past. Now it's global, but what's called, of course, the typical the stereotypical LA look, the flannel or the Dickies, the Chucks or the Cortezes, the button up I used to actually do that, the one button at the top and leave the cholo.
Your cholo
look. I like that. But it's funny, I tend to dress more like an East Coast nigga, like New York. I love hoodies.
I would assume because like your music is definitely more style to the East Coast. I didn't even like and I guess like growing up to like your 10, most of our personalities they develop like later after like 11 or 12, and then I would assume like you would have gotten most of your influence from here.
Yeah, because I think I definitely got more influence from if it's anywhere on the East Coast, New York, than anywhere, because around that time, as you say, most people that's where your sense of culture develops is after 11, 12. Once you reach your teen years, 13 and up. And at that time is when I actually fell in love in hip-hop, with hip-hop, and became a student of it. So I would go back and study like the roots of
who got
hip-hop.
you in? Like who was like the first like artist that like you were like, damn, this is cool? Or like what made you say like, damn, hip-hop's dope? Because there's always like one leading factor. It's not like there was just a bunch of everything and you were just like, yeah. Nah, there had to be like that one thing that kicked it off and like led you to like finding other people.
Good. If I had to pick one, I'm probably
like
I'm gonna get some shit for this. Eminem.
Nah, like a lot of kids
the first CD I ever had, my grandma bought it for me because my dad's side of the family from Detroit, Marshall Mathers LP. First CD I ever owned.
My cousin, I think the first CD I ever owned was I don't remember, but my cousin during the time I wasn't allowed to listen to music that had profanity, but then like I remember being a kid, and then like I went into his room. And he was bumping this just guy that was saying the most craziest shit I've ever heard. I was like, bro, what the fuck is this? And he's like, bro, this is Eminem. Like, I was like, damn, I didn't know he was rapping. Like, because of course, you only saw what on the television, what the television presented to you. But like in that time, I was like, bro, what is he talking about? You talking about killing his wife and shit?
He was saying some nutty stuff.
Like,
this nut shit.
What the fuck is this?
I kid you not, yo. It was Christmas time.
In this early 2000s era, so it was like, yo, M was that man, like, and he was marketable to both adults and children.
Sure was.
Because the shit they would put on MTV, the way they would style those music videos, there's no way you wouldn't like Eminem.
No, he was zany. He was weird, bro.
And he
Kids
was
like that type. Our cartoons were weird as hell. So
and it's way easier to understand than I got a pistol, I'm gonna pop you, I'm selling drugs. Because we didn't understand the fucking slang for drugs back then. So whenever they would play,
especially if you didn't grow up in that culture.
Exactly. So when they would say these things in these rappers and people would be like, yo, this nigga hard right here. It's like, I don't understand.
Make it sound cool, but
I don't know.
She definitely had the drip.
Yeah.
The jar in the bag,
Big
like,
drip.
she had the drip.
Big
Like,
drip
I'm
vibes.
looking at shit like that.
Trying. Oh no,
You're good. But like, yeah, like we didn't understand like what most other hardcore rap was. So when you have M and he makes sense, he says stuff that we
Makes
can relate to.
references you can get.
Like we can get. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go with him. So it definitely makes sense for it to be Eminem. Eminem now is like, I get why you think like he would get feedback, but Eminem was the man back then. So nah,
He was.
he was definitely the man.
In his heyday, Eminem was not someone to be trifled with. He's, like I said, he's had his issues within the last recent years, but I still am a big Eminem fan, even if I don't like what he's put out recently. But I'd say probably Eminem. So I'll give it a tie between Eminem and DMX. My dad, we play, and I'll throw Ja Rule in there too. They put those guys. They had a lot of hits in that realm in that 2001, 2002 time period. And I think I was getting introduced to culture around that time because that music was bumping. You got Bow Wow and Lil Romeo out, so you got kids doing it.
Yeah.
In sports, again, I'm a Lakers fan to the grave, and I'm in California as the Lakers are three-peating. What's it called? So
I definitely get it because that's around the era when like hip hop had definitely started to go mainstream, and you could see it how they marketed it out. It was definitely like we want everybody to be accepting of it. That's when hip hop really first started getting like its placement in labels, and it was marketable to like not just black people but just like white people also, and they wanted it to be accepted in like all cultures of shit.
It was getting mainstream during the 90s because it was mainstream during the 80s when them niggas hit MTV.
Nah, but it was still like it was still like an underground kind of joint. I mean, like
mainstream heard it, but rap was still rap was not the reigning genre.
Yeah,
it wasn't the reigning genre.
When we say mainstream, we mean like
you can tell like how what mainstream is from underground is.
In the early 2000s, it was pop, rap. It was in the 90s, it was rock, pop, rap, and those are just the genres that as far as the ones I like. And country was big too.
And you could tell the difference between the music videos. Like one was definitely marketable towards a mass, and then once you got to the 2000s, they made the music videos just like the pop videos, and you're like, yo, these things are grandiose now. It's not just like we're in the hood, shoot with a camera type shit. It's they have cars, they have a whole lot, studio production. Like there's actual people working.
Well, I'll put it this way. Oh, go. I'm sorry.
My argument is just. So I see what y'all saying, but the reason why I say that is because in the 80s, like I said, you gotta remember MTV just showed Michael Jackson videos. That was it.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where like niggas was not just shooting in the hood; they had actual videos. Like I don't know if you've seen someone like Run DMC's videos or Public Enemy's videos.
Yeah, but that was the thing. You would get like.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
It's still in the fact of the matter that whole transition went from that to that, and that a lot of white people were at half these shows. These people were still selling out also stadiums. Run DMC was the first hip hop group to perform at the National AIDS.
Big facts.
Where it was nothing but like U2 and Queen and them niggas was like selling out shows. And these niggas also made to a fact where they didn't even know who the fuck Aerosmith was when they made that Rock This Way song.
Big facts.
So it got to a point, like I see what y'all saying, but I feel like it hit that mainstream. So I believe that like when it started trickling down more, it got more and more because then like, Pac came out and then he starts, starring in movies and shit like that. But by the time it hit the 2000s, like MTV really, really the early 2000s was around that time where it was
right.
Like, pop and rap was like neck and neck.
And that's where I say that that late 90s, early 2000s was specifically where the mainstream came in, because that's where the true marketability of rap started to show, and it was greater than any genre that came before it. Like if you let's look at the 90s was pop and rock. What clothing line did Britney Spears have? Or what sneaker did he have? What did she have? What did Justin Timberlake have? Let's look at grunge. Their music was very marketable, but they couldn't really. That was the main market they permeated. It was just music, and of course their style was contagious. But that was kind of the extent. Once you get the early 2000s, and they start to see, okay, now rap is going to be the next big thing.
They got
these multi-million-dollar companies that already have this established market, reaching out to someone like 50 Cent and say, yo, I'm going to give you a sneaker. You're not an athlete. Run DMC, to their credit, did that with Adidas, but Run DMC didn't get their own Adidas until around that time, and even then it wasn't a whole new shoe. It was, okay, I'm gonna print a Superstar or a shell toe and I'm gonna put your logo on it. That was the furthest that they got. But then in the 2000s, you had Hove, or early 2000s, you had Hove do that with the Rockefeller Air Forces, and then you had the G6s where Reebok's giving them their own shoe. Then Reebok says, no, we're gonna give Jay-Z his own shoe too. Lug says we're going to give Birdman a shoe, and then not only that, you're going to have a clothing line too. You're going to have G-Unit clothing. You're going to have Shady clothing. You're going to have Fat Farm, Russell Simmons. Like we were the first genre to truly permeate every form of culture. outside of just music and outside of just looking cool. That's why I say that's when it became.
But I get what you're saying also.
Yeah, that's when it became the biggest genre on the face of the planet as it is now, where like now rap is pushing into every genre. You got country artists with trap drums,
Korean pop like BTS.
It's crazy, and that's long before Lil Nas X. That's just regular country songs.
One of the first $1 million videos I believe, like, well, Puff Daddy had, like, when he was Puff Daddy, had like one of the like Victor,
the Hate Me Now shit.
Yeah, and then also fucking.
That's when it started to change.
The Triumph Wu-Tang video was $1 million. If you look at it now, you'd be like, this was $1 million. Like, but now they just, you gotta think about what shit looked like back then. You know what I mean? So it's like. It's kind of crazy that some videos, even back then, like late 90s, when you started getting music videos, that was like $1 million budget. You like $1 million, nigga.
Yeah.
Like, now you still kind of like, what the fuck? But like the technology that was like available back then, it's a lot more accessible now. So somebody shoot $1 million video now, that's like, oh, that's nothing.
No, you shooting videos on your regular
like
Canons, your Nikons.
Facts.
Like beforehand, it was like you would have like that one group or like that one artist that would pop, and they would have to sell like how many records before they got like a video or something, and it would be like something like an MC Hammer type joint to where it was on a big budget. Until like you got a bunch of artists, they could be a new fucking artist, and they would have like a dope ass music video on a fucking lot now, and it was marketable to kids now. It wasn't just something like R&B used to reign supreme. It was reigning like way above everything else, and people would be like, "Ew, you're listening to rap? Listen to these slow jams. Listen to us sing." Like that was the main shit that most people would see, and that had a great budget, and that was mainstream because that could hit everybody. And then once it trickled to like rap music, then it was like, okay, now I get why kids really like this shit. So I get like why you were like so influenced, because it was a time of like when they were really pushing the influence. They were pushing bands, they were pushing like everything had a certain look, and the labels they could market all three at once, all styles of music.
I remember when like at that show when y'all did the podcast, and I wanted to say something so bad, but it was so many people there. We were talking about the whole Jay-Z and Kanye thing about like the fashion shit, and it's like, bro, that nigga like the early 2000s. That's all it was about. Nigga, like there was a song called Bling Bling. Like that's niggas was.
That was where it came from.
Back, like even to go back like in the 80s, like niggas were talking about that. But like when it came in the 2000s. Like, niggas, you saw the braggadocious. It's like, that's what the 2000s was about. Niggas wearing mink coats.
Yes.
Got these expensive-ass jerseys that you didn't know where to get them from. Like,
yes.
You know what I mean? Like, the grills was popping. Like, you had Nas in a fucking video.
Bruh.
Nigga that's talking about super boom bap ass to come and talking about, you know what I mean, Uchi Wally, and also just bragging about how much bread he got.
Fabulous,
like,
bro.
It's like, no,
niggas respect Fab for like his rapping, but like they respected Fabulous for his style more than any fucking thing, which is crazy.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, no, bro. It's definitely, you know, you get that. So it's like it gets to a point where, you know, when the mainstream come in, now you getting way more money now. So now everybody's like, okay, well, we got this. Like, nigga, we came from nothing.
Yeah.
Now we can just talk about how much bread we got and just make niggas look stupid. Because you got niggas that's like on a daily budget, and then they listen to all that braggadocious shit and feel like the man. Yeah, these niggas, we still working regular 9 to 5. But you hear that type of shit because you either get motivated from it, like, oh, all right,
yeah.
Day, or like, you know, I just talk that bullshit because I got a bunch of money. I know how to save my money and go on from that. So
that's what it was at first. Then it got saturated towards like towards the late 2000s, and then that's when like rap took a huge turn towards like 2010 and 2011, and you got Our Future, and like it did because they trickled it into pop. It was big pop. Kanye West was dropping pop hits. Lil Wayne was dropping pop hits. Nicki Minaj was all pop. Drake was pop.
Now, is that a sign of hip hop falling off, or is that a sign of other genres falling off and taking hip hop into it?
I don't think it
that's
was
what
it sounds more like assimilation to me than falling off.
I think it was the South, like around the time we were doing like still doing the dances and the stanky leg shit.
Yeah,
I think that's like because it started too much of that started going on, and it was like, well, okay, we still listening to it because around that time I was going down Georgia a lot.
Right.
And the thing about it is I didn't have a problem with it, but like to me, I got kind of tired of it. That's when I started listening to other music because it was like, okay, hip hop's here, but like, what's really going on? And then to me, like you said, I don't think that it fell off during the pop time. I think that was around the time where I started listening to the mixtape era. I started listening to like the G Units and the D Blocks and like the Dipsets and shit like that because that I felt more connected. Even though I wasn't no street nigga, but like I felt more connected to that type shit. And I didn't give a fuck about Lollipop, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who felt that way at that time.
Lollipop was like, I heard it and people were standing that shit. I was like,
I came from I'm Drought Wayne era, like that. That was what I say.
Carter 1, Carter 2.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't give a fuck about.
So I heard Lollipop. I'm like, I don't. This is not what I wanted to hear from you, Wayne.
Convinced me that shit was so hard. Yet half other people that would have did that, like if they mans would have did that, they would have clowned that nigga.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. That song grew on me over time, and I can appreciate it.
That song never
because a lot of what we make now, is that, and I love it. So like it aged. It to me, it didn't hit well. The first impression wasn't well, but it aged very well. So now I listen to that song, I love it. But back then, what the fuck is this, Wayne?
Exactly.
I'm on bars, nigga. What the fuck? You don't sing.
And then like, that was like the time when like Gucci Mane had just like started to really pop. So I was just like, yo, this trap shit is better than whatever the fuck this other shit is.
That's all my nigga was listening to was trap, bro.
Bruh, because there was just nowhere else to go in the hip hop community after that. It was just like, it just was too radio, and niggas just wanted to hear something that was more realistic and had substance to something they could feel, because that radio shit, they had got so much money to it, like, no, a nigga couldn't relate no more. I can't relate. I work a job. I sell drugs. I can't relate to you no more, DJ Khaled. I can't. I just don't know.
That's when auto-tune started really, really coming in. Like, it got to a point where everybody started using that shit, bro.
Yeah, once T-Pain blew up, everyone took that shit.
Kanye started using. Kanye made one of the greatest albums, 808s.
Big facts.
Like, it just, a lot of niggas started using it, but then some people just.
It got oversaturated. Like, people who had no business using it was using it.
It was just like, come on, bro. Like, so.
And it was like every other song on the radio. I was like, turn this shit off. And then you switch over to the pop station. They doing the same shit. You like, turn this shit off.
Like, bro, it just got to a point to me, like, I stopped. That's when I started experimenting. So, like, 09, 11 is when I started experimenting with other music. I started listening to fucking, like I said, radio hits.
That was the blog era too.
Yeah.
That was the emergence of the blog era.
I think that's New Type Drops put it perfectly.
The blog era, bro. That's when I got hip to, like, I was watching like Wiz Khalifa Day to Day videos. I started listening to, like, my niggas was bumping Waka Flocka mixtape era.
Yeah.
About him at first, but then I was like,
yeah, he grew on me.
He grew on me, exactly. And then it got to a point where I was listening to, like you said, Pac Div. I miss Cool Kids, the Asher Roth. Like I said, Currency Kid.
Oh, that was a great era.
Oof,
Blue in Exile.
Bro, like, that's what I'm talking about.
That was a good era, bro.
At that time, bro, like I miss
Charles
all that shit, bro, because it just
Eddie Lee Hamilton III.
Yeah, bro, like it just, to me, it was like I was the only nigga really listening to that type of shit.
That was that was the backpack shit, but it was like it was backpack shit for alternative kids. Lupe, Lupe killing the game right around that time. Ron Fest was doing his thing a little bit.
I started getting the Madlib around that time, like, and even though he was out, but it was just like I started getting
MF Doom,
like MF Doom and shit like that. Like, and I was just like, bro, what the fuck have I been missing out on? Like, so it was like either you were listening to like boom bap shit or like
NERD.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, and then fucking OF came out.
Early OF.
Early OF, and I was just like, bro, I love this. And then unfortunately, like the mixtape era just started falling down. So, cause, like,
I don't know what happened.
Niggas wanted to get money. They weren't making money from a lot of these mixtapes.
Well, it changed. Yeah. Well, also there was like a big old, because there was a lot of illegal music, so there was a big old thing where that kind of got shut down, and then the style of how mixtapes, Drake forever changed how mixtapes were made. Right. So now nowadays there's no clear indication of what's a mixtape and what's an album, because So Far Gone blurred those lines. That was a mixtape, but sonically it sounded, in the way it was arranged, it was like an album. And then you had dudes like Kendrick coming up out of that too, where like granted OD was a mixtape, but really OD was kind of an album, and then Section 80 really blurred those fucking lines.
Oh my god, that shit was like, I thought that shit was an album, and when he said it was a mixtape, I was like, yo, this is the fucking greatest, bruh. God, that was fucking Section 80. That shit, there would be no Logic's whole entire camp wouldn't have like been anything without that mixtape, and they sampled so much.
I was the only guy. Like, when I got hip to Drake, it was comeback season Drake.
Do it yourself era.
Same.
The thing about it was that, like, I watched Degrassi back in the day. I was a big ass Degrassi fan.
Some of my friends were. I liked it I watched it on occasion.
So my homie was like, yeah, bro, Drake. He kept talking about Drake, and I forgot where I heard about him from. And I heard him rap, and I was like, why does nigga sound familiar? I look at the picture. I'm like, bro, is that Jimmy from Degrassi? He said, yeah. I said, yo, this nigga's spitting, bro. Like, and then he dropped that mixtape. Now, I will say, and I still feel this way, So Far Gone to me was a cool mixtape. I didn't think it was as groundbreaking as everybody said it was. I personally, in my opinion, but I fucked with it. I had it. I was one of the first niggas to listen to it. I was putting niggas on to Drake because a lot of niggas still didn't know who Drake was. I was like, facts. This nigga's gonna get big, bro. Like, I'm telling you. But it was, what's up, Nugget? Thank you for coming through. But I don't know. It was something about the album, and I was just like, okay, this shit dope, but like, I don't know. Like, I'm not hating on it or anything. It's just I just didn't think it was as spectacular as everybody thought.
Right, it didn't hit you but that's you know what? That's, I don't know. It always just comes to where you were in your life and stuff, and as well as that, because a lot of a big album around that time. It's actually around the same time that Thank Me Later came out, that a lot of people don't like, that I absolutely love, was Blueprint 3. I loved by Hove. That's one of my. Either, but I loved it. I love, man. That's still one of my favorite Hove albums, and people trash it. I loved it.
I love Blueprint 3, bro.
That's what, like, that between that and Thank Me Later was what I was listening to that year, and I was still going back to the cool from Lupe, because I was also my Uber hip hop time where, like, if you didn't have bars, man, you ain't talking about nothing. I don't want to hear it, man. That was trash. I hate that I was that person. I really do.
But then I was so saturated that we were like that, because it had to be like that.
That's what it was, because that's what we grew up on, bro. And that's what they told you. It was like, yo, if you ain't got bars, then your shit ain't good. But then it's like you realize that it's not just about bars.
We're a product, being 90s babies, we're a product of the people who don't know hip hop history past the 90s.
Facts.
Because that's the start of the bar era, the late 80s, 90s, like Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, and then up through like the Tribe era, and then like all that golden age is what they call it. That's what we're a product of. But then when I started getting into other things, like I started being more receptive to trap, things with auto-tune, more melody bass and stuff like that, was when I actually studied hip-hop, and I'm listening to the earlier than the 80s, like Love Bug, Starsky, what's it called, all the way back to like DJ Kool Herc and stuff like that. But early hip-hop was basically disco, but they just kept mixing up the breakbeat.
Yep.
So like it didn't always have a message. A lot of it was just talking about how cool they were. The same thing we do now is bravado and enjoying parties. That's how hip hop. That's the origins of hip. Oh no, I'm a student. I'm a student, dog. Yeah, I'm all the way with it. So like, and once I realized that, I'm like, okay, I may not be that receptive to it now, but I understand that it has its place. And as I continue to listen to it, that was where I grew. Now I love trap. Trap may be my favorite subgenre of rap right now, just because of the way the drums are patterned. I love hi-hats. And I love a lot of fucking bass, and it has both. So.
And that's just lively. The energy, you feel it. And like they come up with some different shit. They'll say some different shit than you'll never hear.
And it's great for this era. I think a lot of times too, we get caught up in I guess our own lives, our own situations, and especially if we're of a certain age, we get kind of stuck into a time period where it's like, okay, this is how things were, and this is what bred the art from when we were coming up. But you gotta understand, this is a different world. Like when they say kids, kind of what we were talking about earlier, everything is about turn up, everything is very materialistic, but it's all about fun. You don't really hear the messages or like super things that are very complex a lot. Well, let's look at the era that we live in. We're old enough and young enough to remember a generation where there was not internet like that. Like you had the dial-up, you had the little AOL CDs, but you didn't have most of the information that you digested was from the news, from your immediate surroundings, and just shit that your parents and old heads told you, right? And the same goes back, and it's even more true the further back you go to our parents' generations and things like that. That's how you absorbed your information. So you needed to hear stuff like that. That was part of how you got your knowledge. Now with these kids, now they can be in class, and they can live stream somebody's house getting blown up in the Gaza Strip. Everything all the negativity that happens in the world is at their fingertips.
Yep.
So after hearing all of that, after sitting in school for 8 hours, the last thing they want to fucking hear is more of that. They need to be. That's a big reason why a lot of niggas is depressed now. It's a lot of negative energy you're taking in on a constant basis.
You got to separate yourself.
On top of already dealing with the bullshit you got to deal with just living here or wherever you live at. So it's like, yo, I want to hear something fun. I don't need it to be complex. I need it to sound good, and I need it to make me feel good. It's taking music back to its base elements. What's your favorite Beethoven lyric? There isn't one. His music is based off of sound, not words, nigga.
Dog, I wish somebody would. I'd be like, nigga,
you see what I'm saying? Music is based off of sound. If it starts off, does it sound good? Everything else is extra, but does it sound good?
And now that's a study now because we are in like
see what I'm saying? No,
like Josh said, we are in the do-it-yourself era, and a lot of artists, they'll come to me, they'll show me a track. And they'll ask me, they'll be like, yo, bro, what do you think of this? And I'll be like, yo, the beat go hard, and your spitting is just like, your flow just doesn't match the energy of the beat. Right. And you got to learn how to match the energy now. It's not so much more about whether or not you're doing one part right. It's whether or not you can find, like, to make that shit, like, harmonize, and you can make that energy there. If you can make that energy there, somebody's going to feel you. And that's what it's more so about.
It's just base elements. It's taking music back to its simplest form. It's making people enjoy something and or feel something. And now, if you want your music to teach, you wanted to do this, that's cool. Do that. But a lot of people, and that was why a lot of different rappers, like I was a fan of Immortal Technique, but there's a reason why he hit a certain plateau is because the message and the bars were there, but how did it sound? If music was all about words and the lyrics, it'd be a lot more acapellas out. It'd be a lot more spoken word.
And it's like, what am I supposed to do? Go to the show, feel depressed?
Yeah. Even hardcore hip hop heads who like swear by that. They're not. If you look at their Spotify, their title of their album music, it's not full of spoken word. Mm-hmm. It's full of rap songs with beats they like.
Yeah.
Because how it sounds means a lot. It means really more than what you're saying.
And if you can like find something that sounds dope and plus put your life behind it, you're a dope artist. That's just what it is.
Facts.
And if you can add substance to anything that makes something sound good and it relates to somebody, you have all 10.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
First, the magic lies within saying something and sound good. That's a fact, Josh. Okay, because I'm still getting hip to everybody when it comes to this area. Who's Wombo Combo? Are you part of Wombo Combo?
I am not. I wish I was. Josh and Omar the Groove are the duo known as Wombo Combo.
I saw a video with this beat where it was a globe, and then they were bowling the globe. And
whoa!
Ass beat came on, and bruh, I was bouncing to me and my homies in the PS4 party would play that beat, and I was like, bro, what song is this? And then I went to the show, and I heard the jump, and I heard the song, and I was like, bruh. This joint hard, son. Like, I need to hear this song, bro. Like, I'm sorry, that's just random.
The two greatest duos in Virginia right now. I just
love the name.
Not Nova.
Wombo Combo.
Wombo.
You said it's a Wombo, and then it's like Wombo Combo. It sounds so. Bro. It sounds like a ruckus.
Like, hey, son, this name is hard.
It's the two greatest rap duos in Virginia right now are Wombo Combo, and if y'all not hip, get hip. But the Kuro. Shout out to Black Renaissance Entertainment. Shout out to BRE, Tony Nova, and Xavier Cloud.
The Kuro.
Kuro. Those are the two dopest duos in Virginia right now. Period.
Like I said, I keep to myself, bro, but like in the same sense, it's like I'm still hip to what's going on to shit. Bro.
It's a beautiful scene out right now. Pop out, bro. It's because I know exactly what era you were talking about, where like stuff started to go left. Because I met a lot of the people that we got cool with from that era. We're still cool with now. Shout out to OKO, Our Kids Out. Trying to think who else. And there's a few others that we knew from that era that are still dope to this day. But definitely, I want to shout out to them. Free Migo, Free Gully. But yeah, then just energy started changing.
Certain people left the area. Niggas was taking advantage, and certain niggas just left the area, and the opportunities changed because niggas kept fucking it up. But it just is what it is. I mean, how many times can you give somebody a handout before like you realize like maybe I'm just doing too much for this place? Yeah. And that's basically what it is. Niggas took it for granted, bro.
It's cool, like, because it's just, I guess it's just more so, like, I talk about it all the time, and Van's going to talk about it, but I talk about it from a standpoint as a reference for every artist that comes here. Because more so the thing is that I don't ever want to go to a situation where it feels weird. I want to make sure that Virginia is everybody is still cool and everybody is like not. It's no odd man out type shit. You know what I mean? Like I hate that feeling of coming somewhere and I feel weird and it's like I don't feel accepted. Like it's like I'm not looking for acceptance, but it's more so the fact that I just want to make sure we don't go in a whole direction where the DMV or not even DMV, Virginia is like niggas is hating on each other again. Like I hate that shit.
Right.
I just want everybody to be cool. So it's cool that when we do interviews like this and we step out, I see that people like, yo, what's good, Rex? Or yo, what's good? You know what I mean? Like even Josh followed me on Instagram, and I was looking. I was like, oh, I see him around a few times, but I've never actually got a chance to like chop.
I didn't know he rapped for the longest. When I had first noticed him,
does he rap?
I was at El Ranchon, and he was just showing mad support. He was just out in the crowd, like you were
at El Ranchon back. So we definitely crossed paths before. I was with Josh at a few of them shows. We was at the one that got shut down.
Yeah, and like he was at the one previous before the one that got shut down. And I was just like, yo, he is showing mad love.
That's just Josh,
he has a lot
of
energy. I was like, is he just like a big fan of these people or some shit? All right, I just didn't know.
If he likes the music, he might not even have to know him. If he likes the music, he gonna rock with it.
And
Josh
like
pure.
ever since then, I've always picked
being.
him out and noticed him in a crowd, and I was like, yo,
I think the first time
he shows mad love.
Because like my memory's kind of shit, dude. But fucking. I think the first time I actually seen Josh was around the time of what was that fucking show, bro? It was, I don't know if you were there, but it was the first time I met Goldie. Josh, you probably know what I'm talking about, but it was outside. It was a festival that we had. Terrible ass fucking festival.
I know what you're talking about. Yes, I was there.
Yeah, but
might have been NovaFest. Was it NovaFest? No, it wasn't NovaFest.
Like big ass ranch. I talked to y'all about it. Like, it was no disrespect to the homie that threw it, but
no, because there was like nobody. I was there because I was there to hype man for Con.
It was so hot. And I think that was the first time I seen Josh. He had like this big ass hat on. He was just grooving around and shit. And I was just like, oh, this nigga getting down. And it's just, that's why I said, I like when the big niggas can like got energy, bro. Because it's like, yo, let's get it. Like, but once again, I keep to myself, bro. Like, I do want to talk to people because you see me network, bro. It's times where I'm like, I'm chilling, and it's times I'm out that bitch. Like, we went to Manassas. I was out that bitch like, yo, let's get it. Like, it's like, just to understand, like, all right, let's look at this vibe. Let's scope out the scene. And sometimes it takes a minute. Vibe Fest, that's what it was. Yeah.
Whoa, Vibe out, yeah.
That's what it was.
Woo!
Yeah, thank you, bro. Like,
dear God,
like,
talk about a name.
Like I met Dan back in 2015. I was in one of Dan's videos back in 2015 that's still on fucking YouTube. I met him in Richmond, and he didn't even remember until I told him. He's like, oh, fuck. Now me and Dan hang out, like, all the time. So it's like, bro, like,
big
it
facts.
takes time to kind of, vibe with people. So, like, I saw Josh then, and I didn't know him, but, like, same with Goldie. I met Goldie there, and then me and Goldie kick it and chop it up a lot.
Shout out to my sister Goldie. What up, Maka?
It's just, I like the fact that it has become a lot more camaraderie. A lot more people are pushing each other.
That's because it's needed, and it's fucking needed. And it's not gonna pop up until like you understand that it's necessary.
And we can't pop unless we show each other love.
And
if we keep hating on each other, bro, it's gonna be the same fucking shit. But if we keep what we've got with what's going on right now, Virginia's gonna take, like I said, next 2-3 years, bro. That shit gonna pop, son. It's just we all gotta keep pushing each other, bro, and showing each other love. Keep showing up at events. And even get better events, bro. Like, more than just that. So, it's
going to take some time.
I'm sorry.
Nah.
I'm passionate about the shit, and I just don't want to
talk your shit, King.
Left again, bro. I want to make sure that we keep plateauing up and we keep fucking going, bro. Because if we keep at this, then people are really outside people. Because that's what it's about. Like, we can book all these shows here, and that's fine, and that's going to keep getting us named. But we also got to get motherfuckers outside looking in, because then that's what's going to really make us be like, oh, shit, this nigga Kingkoltrane went back to L.A. He doing shows out there. Oh, shit, this nigga Vaz in fucking Atlanta now. This nigga, you know what I mean? So we need that shit so people start looking in. So the fact that we got Twitch now, and we got niggas from like other places looking now, and even Twitter, niggas is like, okay, what's going on? Because now all you know is Ryan will come in here and be like, oh, who this? Oh, this Kingkoltrane. Because Ryan's from fucking Missouri, bro, and he bumps all.
I love Ryan.
Every person that has come on this shit, he started bumping this shit. He
I
sells
love Ryan.
RVs, nigga.
Ryan more hip than me.
Me and Bob sell RVs, and we didn't think that's what you said.
I respect that.
We go on Instagram, this nigga's really
selling RVs.
He bumping our shit. We like,
your shit, King.
What's
my man's name?
Yeah, me and Bob sell RVs.
No, what's his actual name?
Ryan.
Shout out to Ryan, yo. That name is fire, dog. Don't ever change that shit.
He's the hippest dude.
We're gonna link, Josh. Most def. Well, we definitely gonna link, and I hope to link up with you somewhere after this.
Almost definitely. I'm in the area, B.
Do some harmonize and shit. We're gonna be.
Yeah, I need Josh on this show.
Yo. Yo, what's crazy? And I don't know if he's changed it, but shout out to Khan. In his phone, I'm sorry for 2004. That's my name in his shit. And I respect the hell out of that because Ruben Studdard was that nigga. Ruben Studdard was that nigga.
Oh my god. I'm sorry for. You remember that song? 2004.
That song sucked.
No more.
Dog.
Yes.
Stop.
I respect the smart.
Okay. So once you got to VA,
I'm done, bro.
were you settled down in VA in like one place for a while, or were you jumping around in VA also?
No, for the most part, I've been in this area. Stafford is where I went through. I went through my last year elementary school, middle school, high school through there, and then there's a period of time where me and my pops were homeless. So that's where I was bouncing around just a little bit in between Woodbridge, even from Woodbridge to Fredericksburg, is where I was jumping around a bit, and that was also when I went to school in West Virginia. And then once we got my pops got back on his feet, that's when we jumped into. I've been in Woodbridge ever since, pretty much, except for like a year in Stafford I lived out.
So during like the homeless parent, like where was your mom?
My mom was in. Did she move to? No, she was still in Petersburg for a minute. And then she moved. When she got remarried, she moved down to Charlotte, where she's at now with my step pops. And it was crazy because it was a thing where like I had the option. I could have went to go live with my mom. She was very adamant about me coming down there, but I think at that point in time, I'm really close to my pops, because that's who I lived with from 10 all the way up to that point. So I didn't want to leave him through that situation, and then also I needed that particular stability. So while I was bouncing around, I still had my core group of friends who are still all my homies, my brothers to this day. My dad still refers to them as his other sons, but I lived with them at any given point throughout that period of time, and I needed that core group to stay. I didn't need to go to where I was at. I didn't need to go to a whole new city and start over, a whole new part of Virginia and do that. So that was why I just chose to like stay here and tough it out.
So you said that was like for a period of 4 years.
Yeah, so it was my last 2 years of high school was junior year, and senior year. Most of my a lot of my friends from then outside of my core friend group still never don't know or never knew that we were homeless, because we would literally like live in Fredericksburg. I actually lived off of Route 17 for a little bit, and we'd get up in the morning and drive up to Stafford, where I was still going to school at, because we were using my one of my good friends' address at the time, who lived on the same street that I did, so I could still go to that school. So we were getting up every morning, driving all the way for that. And then when I went to college, it was still in that situation. So I'd go out to West Virginia, and I'd come back, and I'd be usually staying at my homie Saji crib, is where I was at most of the time. So, and then around 2012, that was when Pops got back on his feet and stuff, and we had our own place to stay, and I've been in Woodbridge since then.
Oh, so you're located in Woodbridge? Yeah,
I'm about 10 minutes from here.
I was wondering how you got here so quick. I was like, he said it's on his way, and you pulled up when I pulled up. I was like, damn.
Yeah, I'm not that far. I'm over by I'm not too far from Old Bridge.
Gotcha.
Road. I'm like smack between Dale Boulevard and Prince William Parkway, where you have to like turn.
Okay, that's not that far. But during like that whole entire like 4 year period, like it has to be hard. Was there any like breaking points where you like, damn, this is too much or anything? Or did you ever feel like it was like you just toughing it out? This is life.
I think I would say probably just during that particular. You know what? I'm not quite sure, because I definitely went through some things. Especially like I had confidence issues back then, so I just kind of had those particular issues going on. But I did so much, and I was around a lot of positivity. Like I said, between all of my homies, my boy John, Jesse, Tyler, Donovan, still to this day, my boy Saji, shout out to Jesse. Jesse's like one of the hottest videographers out right now, JVA Films, or JVA, or if you hear the tag JVA, boy, that's my man's right there. So if you need some videos, go to that man right there. And I know there's people I'm forgetting. I'm sorry, bro. Y'all know I love y'all. My boy Bobby and them, but like though I was around those guys all the time. I was at their houses. We had a little chant we do. It's Daily Grind, Taco Bell, Saji's house, because we go to this on Fridays, a little open mic joint held at a coffee shop called the Daily Grind, rest in peace. But we'd be there. We'd either be at my man Saji's house, just because his house was always open for the pretty much, or we'd had Taco Bell every day. It was incredibly unhealthy. Those we had the 89-cent 5-layer burritos.
Yeah.
You know, you in high school, you broke, so we go scrap up change or whatever. We hit that joint after school. My man's Bobby at the time, he had the white Mercedes. So go there, get a whole bunch of those joints, hightail at the Saji's house, and just be chilling at all day. But like between being around all those guys and then at the same time I'm playing football, I'm doing stuff in choir, I'm doing track at my pop's church, I'm on the dance team in the choir, and then at my school, some of those same homies, we had our own dance crew. Like I was just doing so much, I didn't really have time to like dwell in it.
So you kind of like, you stayed active through that whole entire period, and you had like such a good support team, like it didn't really...
Pretty much, and that's, I think that's been more important than any physical environment that I've ever been in, because I had that similar run. What's it called? Early last year. Not a lot of people know, but like I had like a mental breakdown because I have mental health issues. I've been diagnosed with. I always get the names wrong, but I basically have anxiety, depression, and insomnia. Mm-hmm. So I have to take medication for all those. But like during that period of time, I had like the highest paying job I've ever had. I had benefits, I had my own place and stuff like that. Had to quit that joint. I had to quit that joint because like mentally it wasn't right for me.
And that's how it is.
It almost killed me. But the core friend groups I had,
a lot of these jobs will fucking almost kill you.
I'll say something real quick. Everything you fucking just said is everything I just went through last year. That's fucking wild. Like,
crazy, ain't it?
Like they'll tell you, bro. Like I had depression. And like it's 1 minute I'm good, and you know how it is. 1 minute you're fine, and then it's like one little thought. You just like you're just sitting there laying in bed or something. And you're just like, bro, fuck this, bro. Like, and it's just I had one of the highest paying jobs I ever had, because beforehand I was like working at like a grocery store, pushing carts, barely scratching.
Yup, same.
Then working at Levi's, barely getting put on the fucking.
Yo, I bet your job shit follows mine too. That's funny.
Like, it was that, and then literally fucking, I worked at a financial institution, but I was working at a call center. But I had benefits.
Same. That's exactly what I was
shit, bro. Like that's wild, nigga. Like,
that's nutty.
But like when I started, I was so happy to have this job because I was making money I never made before. But it was like it was taking so much of my time up, and I like creatively I was not there. And every time I was going there, I was just depressed. And it was like,
and bro, especially if you're an introvert and you have to call and talk to people all day. It may sound weak to people who don't have that issue, but that's a lot of energy you're exerting just to stay sane, bro.
Every single day.
You know the thing that sucked? It was just like it was times where our queue would go to like 1,000. So it's 1,000 people calling in, and the whole day, 8 hours, bro. You're on there, and then if you use too much of your break time or something, they're bitching.
Your personal time, it's micromanaged
bruh,
the fuck.
It's like, dog. I done seen people go insane in that job, bro. Like I remember I saw one guy come in there, bro. He had a panic attack. And when you see that shit, I had 2 panic attacks there. When you see somebody have a panic attack for the first time, you're like, whoa. Like,
and it was due to management?
No, it was just the overall environment. Yeah. It just if your personality is not built for it, or if you're not mentally prepared to deal with it, over time it will erode your mental health.
For 5 years.
I did 3. Yeah.
Everybody was like, bro, I don't know how you're still here. I was like, bro, I don't know either. I'm just sticking.
That's why call centers have such high turnover rates. Yeah. Just because that job's not for everybody. Some people jump in that joint and flourish, but for me, it just wasn't it. Like it was a point in time where like my anxiety got so bad, I didn't leave the house for 3 weeks.
Sheesh.
Like when I say literally,
call centers are not the place.
When I say I literally didn't leave the house for 3 weeks, like because we had this thing called profit sharing that we got. So depending on how well the company did, I mean, it was a good company where I worked at. It just they took care of their people, but it said the job wasn't for me. But we around that time we got the profit sharing check. So like you're getting like a $2,000 check just after the taxes and stuff like that. So like I had money to spare at that time, so like all of my food during that time was like Postmated. I didn't leave to go get my food because if I've arachnophobia, I'm terrified of spiders, and every time I would go to leave the house outside of walking my dog, it felt like I was walking into a room full of them. So like I would start to immediately panic, and I would have to like go back in that crib. So like, and there was a few times where like I would try to go back to work. And I somehow made it all the way down to Fredericksburg where I had to go. And I would get there and I would go sit at my phone, get ready to log in, and I would just freeze. I couldn't move. And then I would have to I'll start bawling my eyes out and I don't cry. I'll break down and like I talk to my supervisor and I had to go.
Bruh.
Sheesh.
See, that's what it was like. It's the difference from people looking outside and people actually being in there. That's why I said, like, with the call center I was working at, bro, like, I don't want to say they didn't give a fuck about you because they work around times and they helped you.
But at the same time, they have to do their job as well as we got to do ours.
So it got to a point where, like, my fucking numbers started dwindling, dog. Like, because it was like, I was doing good. I was here, and then, like, my numbers started, by the end of it, they started getting bad, bro. Like, so I thought, like, I was about to get fired. So it got to one last time where it was like, bro, I was having health issues. I was in and out the hospital. Like, those times I'm in the crib and, like, mom dude's getting upset because she think I'm just, like, faking it or some shit. And it's like, nah, like, my nigga, like, I'm not here mentally, bro. Like, I'm trying to work on music. I can't. I'm trying to go out with my friends. I can't. I go on vacation, have fun, but then I realize I got to come back to this shit. So it was like, and it was a point where one of my homies had an interview with Kanye, and Kanye heard my song. Like, and he told me, he hit me up. Do you remember me telling you about that?
No.
Did I ever tell you about that? Okay, so back in 2017, my friend had, before he started getting on this whole Trump raid, one of my friends, his name Mark Andre, he lives in New York. He had a meeting with Kanye, and he was playing some songs, and he heard one of my songs. And it wasn't nothing big. It wasn't like Kanye's like, oh, I want that guy. Like, it wasn't like that, but it was just, okay, he heard the song. And he hit me and was like, because he got a picture where he's like posted with him. He's like, bro, we just had a meeting, like, keep hitting me up. Because then another one of my friends did modeling for Kanye. I told you about, it's the same dude. So he was like, yeah, bro, and I was so psyched. But, like, in my head, I'm like, all right, I got to work harder. But it was like being at this fucking job really drained the fuck out of me, dog. And it was so hard to try to get that motivation to try to do this.
Do anything.
To just do anything. Like, Bamboo's one of my most popular songs, and I made that while working at the call center. But I did that when I was still kind of like, okay, I'm here. You know what I mean?
That was
like,
the same thing with like Fader.
See?
Same exact thing.
Definitely check it out. Like definitely, bro, because that just shows like that's what's up. We got a lot of common, bro. Like,
Big facts.
That's crazy.
That was nutty. Bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, because depression's real, bro.
But it's more prevalent than people think. It's just a lot of, especially in the black community. But there's a stigma behind it, and we don't properly. Most of us don't know how to properly identify it, but you got to think, especially with the trauma that we've gone through over the years, most of our parents and grandparents have some sort of mental health issue, but it doesn't really get talked about. They don't know they do, but like I told, my pops understands it a lot more now, but when we talk about it every now and again, but it's dealing with me. But like when my pops, he grew up in crack era Detroit, 80s Detroit. You're not meaning to tell me you don't have some sort of PTSD.
Yeah, facts.
My pops is what, in his 50s now. He still counts steps because you want, and like you said, you live in a place like that. You want to know if someone's in your house. You want to know how far they are away. So to this day, it's been decades. He still counts steps.
Sheesh. That's
so
some
like,
fucking.
that's like that stuff. And like my grandma, his mom, she's from Jim Crow, Alabama. You're not Birmingham. You're not telling me she don't got some sort of PTSD, some sort of issue like that. But they had. We have the luxury today. Well, a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us have the luxury of today to being able to live, to enjoy life, where our parents and grandparents and their parents only could survive. And that's where a lot of our disconnect between generations comes from, is because we're looking at it from two different sides of the coin. But I think as we continue to open dialogue, it gets better.
It gets a lot better.
But that used to be the big issue, is just we never talked about stuff.
They were just told to suck it up.
Yeah, and they kind of had to.
Yeah, they had to.
No,
Like, no one was holding their hand. Like, not to say that people are holding our hand nowadays, but it's like, bro, like you said, it comes to a point where it was like, he said, yo, I don't know this guy, but I fucking love him already. But yeah,
yo, shout out to who said that. My phone charger right now,
yeah,
so.
But no, it was just more so for us. We have a lot more support within friends.
Yeah.
And because, within the black community, and I would also say, like, in other communities as well, but, like, they tell you, like, you still got parents that live in that old-ass mindset. They tell you just get over it. And it's like, once you start seeing kids, like, I don't want to get this gut, like, grim about it, but when you see kids committing suicide because of their depression, then you're looking like,
gets real.
Oh, I didn't know. Like, yeah, you did. He told you.
Multiple times.
Mm-hmm. You just didn't
give a fuck.
You just didn't want to hear it because
Said,
like, that's how you.
I want to hear it right now.
It's like times are different now. You need to take this shit seriously and need to really like talk to friends. When you have a friend that's telling you like, "Yo, I don't think I'm up to it" or something, talk to that friend. Because I had like, unfortunately, like one of my closest friends, we had a falling out, and he was depressed and he went to drugs and he passed in 2018. My homie that's on the song that if anybody hear the intro in the beginning of this, it's a song called Last Drink with my homie Manny. And unfortunately he's no longer here with us. But, I'm not about to put his whole info out there. It was just more so the fact that depression really was a fucking thing, bro. And, people listen to certain things and just you don't have those opportunities, or either you're not listening to those opportunities because you're so stuck in your ways. So it gets to a point where it's like you need to talk to somebody, bro. Like,
it's part of throwing your own ego aside, especially us as black men.
Yes.
Definitely, black. As much as black women go through, they're definitely way better at expressing their pain than we are. As black men, all we're really taught to express is anger.
Yep.
You can't talk about or express sadness. First words was three of us in this room. From the first words we remember is, "Quit crying before I give you something to cry about." Man up.
Boys don't cry.
Men don't cry. You a big boy, all right?
I think the first time I ever had heard about like somebody in our age group, black male, actually like going to therapy was like last year. We did an interview with my man's Vex School, and it was like the first time I ever heard of any black person going to therapy. I was like, black people don't go to therapy? That shit was so foreign to me. I had to look at him like, yo, like you seriously went there? He's like, yeah, and it actually helped me and made my life better. And I was just like, that's wild.
The way they portray it make you think you're
soft or some shit.
Either you're soft or you're crazy, or you need to be in a psych ward or something like that, which sometimes, even if it's for a temporary stay, you may need to, if that's what's going to help get you out of that situation, help you like progress to better mental health. And sometimes you may need to check yourself in and becoming impatient. I've had friends that have had to do that, but it's like I said, it's letting go of that ego and letting go of that stigma behind what will people think of me, and especially it's not so much other people, but typically it's friends and family, and that just happens to be why I was blessed to have a good situation, because my family didn't get it, but they love me enough to try and to understand. My friends get it. My friends went through that before I did, so it's like, okay, when I was going through my stuff, it's like, and even stuff that I still go that goes on to this day, they're like, okay, here's how you deal with this. Sometimes it's not even giving a solution; it's just being there to lend an ear, to support. Sometimes we know the answer, and sometimes we just need to get the emotions out. But as men, we tend to be more solution oriented. But sometimes it's not about finding the solution. You know, the solution is just getting that negative energy out.
Mm-hmm. I think that's why a lot of people gravitated towards like early Eminem and like Tyler the Creator. Yep. They used to be highly focused. Like they could say some off the wall shit, but they would also open up and you'd be like, okay, so this is okay, because he's still cool even though he opened up, and I guess I can still be cool too if I open up. Because a lot of people, they had like that disconnect because you had like such hardcore mainstream of images of what a man is supposed to be.
I think like the thing is like I grew up with that shit too, and I remember like one of my mom's old boyfriends. He was like a Hotep big ball DC ass nigga.
Ooh, Hotep.
He used to tell me like
most toxic of the toxic.
But he was so like the thing about it, he was so contradictory in so many ways. Like,
yes,
he used to tell me, like,
Hotep niggas, Hotep niggas suck, bro.
And then it was funny because like I remember one time like and I'm gonna try to go through all this real quick, but he had this message on this thing on his voicemail talking about to the eyes of God, you looking at the pyramids, and I was like, that kind of spoke to me. Boy, was I wrong. I went to one of the meetings, and there were women there, and then they were talking about the preacher there. He had one of his friends pass, who was a light skinned individual, and he was talking to like rest in peace, and then literally like I want to say like 30, 40 minutes later, he's going on this whole tangent, and it was like, yeah, we can't be rapists like them light skins. And I was the only light skinned dude there, and everybody looked back at me, and I'm like, whoa. So then like it was women there, and then they told them the women to go in the back. Then they started bad mouthing women. And I'm just like,
them niggas suck, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
What the fuck is this?
Couldn't even do it in front of him.
Bro.
Couldn't even do it in front of him.
He was telling me like, I guess you just couldn't handle it. I was like, no, I couldn't. I was like, I could handle it. I was like, you didn't see me walk out or anything, did you? I was like, bro, it's just what y'all saying don't make sense.
Nope.
And then he was talking about he was so homophobic. I heard him say faggot so many times, all that type of shit. And then what was so weird to me, 2 cases was that he used to wrestle. And I went to one of his wrestling matches. Why is his teammate a white guy? They're so against white people, but his guy is a white guy who's wearing a fairy costume, coming out there prancing and shit, going like
the opposite of what he was supposed to be about. That's crazy.
Like, and then one day, this topped it all off. You thought that topped it all off, but he was like, yo, let's go to the movie theaters. And he was like, all right, cool, what you want to go see? Let's go see Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. I was like, bro, you lost me, dog. I don't know what you are, fam. I don't know what you are, bro. Like, what the fuck?
You never know what Hotep niggas.
What? Like, I didn't understand it because it's like I'm talking about this brawling ass. What's up, man?
Like stereotypical manly black man.
Like, to me, it's just like he was a prime example. One of those dudes that tell you to like toughen up, man up, da 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 da. Like, and it's like, bro, toxic masculinity is such a thing. But I realized that from hearing through my mom how fucked up his family was.
Right. And
I'm like, that makes sense now. Like, my mom went to go see like something because I guess somebody passed or something. She said it was heartbreaking. Like, it's just like, it's that family, bro. And you being from DC, the ghetto of DC, like, he drove me around DC, like the ghetto of DC. And he was asking me, I'm scared. I'm like, nah, bro.
It was normal.
Like, I'm not scared. I'm like, I mean, yeah, of course you gotta be on your toes because I'm not from here.
Exactly.
Anybody can test you at any minute and some shit could randomly happen. And then literally that next week he got shot at. Like, and it's just like, damn, bro.
That's
like,
crazy.
It's that PTSD factor of when someone grows up and however their family, because even back then, way back like in the 40s and 30s, like, they used to get whipped. Their parents used to be so hard, but it was like, bro, they were slaves, my G. So it's like, when you go from
he said Nick and Norris is a classic.
It was a classic? I don't know about that.
No, it was
not. I'm going to say just like more so the fact that's where they grow up, but it's different now. And we're not going to have our kids being soft. It's just, we're going to show more compassion to
these kids cannot be soft nowadays. They go to school every day, and it's like, well, this place gets shut up. And they don't judge you for shit. No, nowadays, because it's not cool to judge anybody for shit, like, they don't care. They don't have any of those limiters where it's like, we used to have those limiters like, I can't act a certain way or I'll get judged. Like, they don't give a shit. They're just like, you better accept everybody or we'll bully you for bullying.
And the main dude you look at and you think ain't about to whoop your ass is about to beat your ass.
Literally, this nigga watch UFC every day and train for MMA type shit.
Yes.
Be quiet, chilling.
Like he cool. He ain't messing with nobody.
High school is a different place, bro.
Can give you them hands.
School's a different place, bro.
I think it all comes down to is
it's not the battlefield we used to have, bro.
I think as a human race, we've always had an issue with, what we like to call it the golden rule. We have an issue with following it, which is treat others the same way you want to be treated. That's pretty much how I try to base my core philosophy on anything, whether I agree, disagree, or indifferent. It's just like some of the biggest. I can't always fully remember the quotes, but some of the biggest things that I carry with me were from a. Does everyone know the game Injustice? Gods Among Us, and when you start the story mode, it opens up with It's like any man can overcome adversity. You really want to test a man's character, give him power.
Mm-hmm.
And
no, that's real shit though.
And then it follows that backdrop of the whole story of Superman, who's supposed to be perfect. Like he's got all the power. He's the American dream. He's the most human out of anybody. Like he cares for his fellow man. All it took was one bad enough day for him to completely flip that and throw that shit out the window. And it was the
Joker, and the Joker always has that philosophy because that's the Joker's like, all it takes is one bad day and I can break a man. Yeah. He did that with Harvey Dent. He tries that with everybody, and then like when he succeeded with Superman, that kicks it all off. That
kicks off, fucked everything up, dog.
That's one of the to me best alternatives.
Definitely one of the best.
That's the one they wanted to sell movies.
You read the comic book?
Yes, that
the comic
Flashpoint in Dark Knight's Metal. Dark Knight's Metal. I love those. My top three.
Man, if DC wanted to have a good selling movie franchise, all they had to do was take Injustice. That's all they had to fucking do.
Yeah,
as long as they focus. There's a quick tangent. As long as they focus on one singular hero per movie, they're fine. Because if you go through their things, the Dark Knight's trilogy, great. What's it called? The Man of Steel. I enjoyed the Man of Steel films. But then they got into Batman vs Superman. Horrible. They got into Wonder Woman. Amazing. The best one to date.
I like them all.
Besides the Joker now.
Yeah,
but the best one to date up until that point in time. Then they tried to do Suicide Squad. Hot garbage.
I love that.
I did not like it at all, dog.
It was just like the comics.
Music video that movie had no cadence to it.
Anytime they try to do too much is where they fuck up because they're trying to keep up with Marvel because Marvel's got the.
Thank you for the host, bro.
Yeah, but yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, but anytime they try to do too much is where they fuck up at. They want to keep up with Marvel because Marvel's had the Avengers movies and had massive success with it. But they gotta understand, Marvel took the time to build that with like the Iron Man movies, the Thor movies, the Captain America movies. Mm-hmm. Like they took time to build that universe and then got into it. DC, like your fan base is just as hardcore as Marvel's. Most of us are fans of both, like me. So I'm going to make the movie, make it as best you can. I'm going to go see it. I'm going to pay that money just as a nerd. I'm going to do it. But if you don't make it right, if you try to do too much and try to keep up for competition you don't really need to keep up with, that's where you run into that issue.
That's why they've been starting to see. After Wonder Woman, they started.
Aquaman was dope.
Aquaman was heavy.
Anytime it's just one hero, they knock it out the park.
The Joker just won fucking so many fucking awards, bro. Like that tells you that they went out their way to do something because it don't always gotta be a PG-13 movie.
Just do it right.
They did their thing, and I just saw Birds of Prey, and that was a cool movie. Like to me, it wasn't fucking spectacular.
Right.
I thought it was cool.
That may be their best group project.
Yeah, like, really,
to keep it a bug with you.
So it was just like. If you keep going out your way to do it, I love the fact that now, I swear, ever since they took that chance on Deadpool, now people starting to see that they can start doing rated
Deadpool and Logan.
Yeah,
people forget Logan was crazy. That was
the best Wolverine film.
Easily the best Wolverine film.
I'm glad that they're taking a chance to do these rated R superhero movies because it's like, bro, not every fucking movie got to be PG-13. It's no disrespect to Marvel because I love Marvel, but I'm a guy that likes both. Like I like DC. I like
Just stay true to your characters.
Did y'all see that X-Men Dark ones? No. The Rise of Man, that shit was shit.
I didn't see
Oh my god. Oh my fucking lord.
Yeah, the older ones kind of they started off okay and then it just got worse as it went.
Think it's so hard to make a good Superman movie, especially Clark, the most human character out of everyone in the universe?
The scope of his power.
Yeah, who's OG Steez?
I say the scope is. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. Like scope is power, but also just to make him a human. Like the older Superman movies were good, but it's like the thing is you got to balance out how strong he is, but you also got to balance out his humanity because at the end of the day, behind Superman is Clark Kent. That's why the Spider-Man movies have gotten a lot better because it's like you get that fucking balance of a human.
But that's not DC.
Give him a powerful, like they did it with the last one, but it wasn't good. If you give them a powerful character, like give him like okay, let's say this is a crazy example. Let's say the Broly movie that came out. You see how the Broly movie started off where it was a lot of talking in the beginning?
Yeah.
And then the last 30
action
minutes,
didn't really come to the end. They just wrecked.
The whole time. I'm not saying that's how the movie should be, but I'm saying give Superman a powerful villain where you're interested in the fight and these niggas is wrecking, but you're actually like, oh, this shit is gutter, bro. Like,
yeah.
They haven't done that.
I personally
because,
think,
like, they forget, like, with DC, man, it's not about, like, the struggle. It's more about the story behind it, and they always keep that real, and it's not about the character behind the mask. It's more about what the character does with the mask, and they have to, it's kind of hard because Marvel has, it dominated, like, this last decade, and people think, oh, a superhero movie's supposed to be this, but they don't understand the difference between DC and Marvel. DC, it's what the character does with the mask. It's not about his home life. It's what's he gonna do in this story because of what the story is. How does he make the decision?
I think Superman is a difficult character to make a movie for.
Oh, he's tough as shit.
Because he's not your typical protagonist where they're supposed to overcome every obstacle. He has no obstacles. He is the most powerful character in any given movie and thing that he's going to be in. Most of the people they have him pit up against are people without powers. They have to intellectually beat him. But we as humans, we gravitate towards that underdog that, you know, we break these limits, we overcome any challenge, any obstacle type narrative. With Superman, his is a flip. And that's something that they need to explore. He is meant to be a god amongst men, or a shining example, who's fighting to maintain this humanity, and I think that's what they need to explore. But they keep trying to make him more so like a Batman, or like these characters that aren't. That's why a lot of people, and I might catch flack for this, but when people always say the Goku versus Superman argument, if you look in both the anime and manga, and then you look into the comics and cartoons, Goku physically has not accomplished anywhere near close to the same strength feats, but he's a cooler character because of the way they hashed out the story, because we resonate with him. Goku he loses a lot, he dies a lot, but then he finds a way to overcome that obstacle, usually with a new form.
Well, Superman, that's just innate.
But with Superman, he's gonna beat you.
He's always gonna beat you.
That's just it. He's gonna win.
Stop.
You lost.
He reaches God level. He's unkillable. You know how many times he's been killed and he's not been killed? Like, they think they killed him and the man is just still regenerating.
Superman has only died twice, from what I know.
And he didn't even die in those circumstances.
In the main continuity, yeah.
He don't die. He can't be put down. And the longer his ring stretches, if you really study into him, he just becomes godlike. He's just more godlike and more godlike.
What?
You're not beating him, bro.
Like, I tell people this all the time because people always say this argument, but I'm like, with Goku has to keep powering up to get stronger.
Yeah.
With Superman, he don't.
That's his base power.
Superman just starts at a level because he sees how much they can take, and then he just was like, oh, okay, you can take more. All right, cool.
He's as powerful.
And he'll up it. And he'll up it.
See me keep going, like.
And if you watch the shows, if you ever watch the shows with Superman, that's the one thing they skip in the movies. It's not about whether or not he can beat you. Yeah. It's whether or not that he will.
He can maintain his humanity, will he finally
break down and kill your ass?
Yeah.
If you watch every single his Superman cartoon, every single time you watch that motherfucker, it was about how he caught you, and what was he gonna do to you after?
The Justice League animated series.
Does he let you fucking live?
I will never forget this episode, but there's one time where him and Darkseid are really about to square.
Yo, that shit was crazy.
And they're on Darkseid's ship. They're not on Earth anymore. And or no, they might still be on Earth. But anyway, there's one point in time where Darkseid is just like he's going on a rampage. Superman's like
piecing that nigga.
He's like bet. He's like man.
You can handle more?
He's like every day I feel like I'm living in a world made of cardboard, trying not to hurt someone or break something or break someone. But you can take it, big fella. Today's a rare chance for me to cut loose. That was the most gangster speech Superman has ever fucking given. He was cracking his knuckles and everything, and it proceeds to hit this man with the meanest fucking punch. Shit created a shockwave, my nigga, bro.
No, everything you're saying is fucking.
Bro,
I got a hype, dog.
That was Justice League Unlimited. That was the final episode in the season where that was the coldest fucking line.
Back to what I be talking about when niggas say y'all giving Superman too much credit. Superman bores me for some reason. We're not talking about if he bores you or not. We're talking about that this nigga is OP as fuck. You can try to put this whole Goku verse thing. Goku's died, and I'm playing Kakarot. This nigga Goku died already like 3 times. Yeah. Superman hasn't died, bro.
Not once.
Like
Goku ain't even fucking with Beerus right now, and Superman is dogging Beerus easily.
Facts.
Exactly. And Superman is
Superman fight gods like it's nothing.
His whole entire character.
He gonna get back up and
exactly.
Goku just now got to fighting gods. Superman's been at that.
What's good, Mo?
Lex found the anti-life equation. Yeah, okay, we get it. Yes,
and he still lost.
Still lost.
We get it. But
and we all know Batman is not a superhero.
Because what's it called found it too. Darkseid found it. Darkseid's a literal god. He's a new god.
Yeah.
Facts.
But that was the last episode on Justice League Unlimited, and that pieced together the whole entire series.
And especially if you're talking like early, like super, like campy golden age Superman, this nigga sneezed and destroyed the universe, and that's canon.
Yeah,
that's canon. Name me something Goku's done that powerful, please. Nothing. Canon or otherwise.
Goku's strong.
It's his art shop. You're not beating the character that was literally designed to be a god.
He's not built to lose. He's not meant to lose. That's not his story.
His whole entire art shop is him trying to calm down.
Understanding that this nigga literally Superman is just fucking powerful, bro. He's OP.
If a supernova happens, Goku is done.
He's gone.
What's it called? You talking about the nigga Superman who sleeps in the sun?
Yes.
To power up.
That nigga, when he did that shit, when he slept in the fucking sun, yo, I was like, yo.
This nigga Goku died. With Superman, if a planet blows up, Superman's still gonna be there.
Unscathed at that.
You don't give a shit.
Superman's the type of nigga that accidentally stub his toe on a planet and it's gone.
I need you to come around me more.
It's gone.
That nigga went to the core of fucking Earth one time just to regenerate. Dug into the fucking core of the earth just to regenerate. Superman is not that nigga to fuck around with.
It's just a different scope of power though.
It's in his name.
It's something we have a much harder time fathoming.
Can y'all hear me? Because first place said my mic sounds like it's not.
Like they don't understand the story isn't about a fucking person trying to beat him. Nah, it's about him holding back.
It was real. Josh said I wouldn't center a Superman movie around his powers. I would center around his humanity.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's where they
struggle.
fuck up.
It's him trying to hold that shit together. Him trying to make sense of how to be with a human woman. Oh, I don't have anybody to be around. This is my whole entire people. They're gone. Everybody's gone. I have to fit in here now.
And then someone too. I seen it earlier, but I forgot who said it. But let me see. We'll press play. Batman. Early Batman wasn't a superhero. Batman's iteration today is definitely a superhero. Everything he does is not something a human is supposed to be able to do. You're not, and this is canon, you're not supposed to be able to sneak up on the guy who can hear through the vacuum of space. That is an impossible thing to do, and yet he managed to do something impossible. That's a superhuman.
Also, like, the thing that he said, Goku could come.
I would never place Batman as a superhero though.
I would.
Nah, he a villain like shit.
He's an anti-hero at that.
He's a villain, bro. I think he's a fucking villain.
I say Batman's an anti-hero. He's not really a villain.
God, bro. That nigga's
especially
crazy.
with his rogues gallery, he's definitely not a villain.
And I'll break down to you why the fuck he's a villain.
I want to hear that. No, yeah, go with that one.
This nigga, he's rich. Noticeably rich, and he rules over a city which his parents have been ruling over for a long period of time. And most of the people that he fights are the people in that city. They're mentally ill patients. He basically beats the shit out of mentally ill people.
Well, he's also mentally,
but he also has the power of all that money to make that city a better place. I think about this shit all the time.
But he tries. There's only but so much that man can do. Like, I get it, he's a billionaire, but bro, still in the same sense. Even if you put all that shit and that money down to try to get something better, crime is still going to run rampant no matter what, because you're going to have people that's always going to oppress. And then not just that, yes, they're mentally ill, but just because somebody's mentally ill, that doesn't mean it's okay to kill somebody.
There's two things. He
beats the shit out of them repeately, though.
There's two things with
they deserve that shit.
They're mentally ill.
But to your point, is Batman not mentally ill?
Yes. Facts. He's very mentally ill. He's an orphan who watched both his parents get killed in front of him.
So if he's mentally ill and his antagonists are mentally ill, they're fighting on equal terms. That's not a regular person, or that's not a 100% capable person beating up on a mentally ill person. That's two mentally ill people fighting. Because what grown man is gonna, okay, someone hurt me, I'm gonna dress up as a bat. and cascade around the city in spandex. That's
wild, bro.
That's not sane. That's not sanity.
Sane.
That's not sanity. But then also his biggest issue does come from his will not kill policy.
Yeah.
Because there's actually a super dope documentary y'all should check out called Necessary Evil. Well, it's all about the villains of the DC universe. And someone made a good point is like the hero especially because most heroes don't kill, they have to win every time. They have to keep winning. When they inevitably break out, they have to keep winning. The villain only has to win once. He's gonna kill you. So once you're done, I mean, of course, people get brought back and retconned and all that, but realistically, you're done. That's all they need to do. And so, he has to somewhat be mentally ill because he's not fighting on equal footing. He's fighting with the disadvantage, even with the money.
Sheesh.
He's fighting. Yeah.
Better at all?
I never thought about it that way. And like once you throw in his mental instability and like they're in mental instability.
I'm far too invested in this shit, bro. Like when I say I view this shit like it's real.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I guess he's fucking struggling also.
Yeah, that's like
I guess you could put him as an anti-hero.
A grown man who dresses as a bat and uses little kids as his uses teenagers as a sidekick. That's sane.
That's not fucking sane at all.
Batman deserves to be in Arkham just as bad as the Joker.
And I guess
anyone
Joker
else.
Y'all hear me? Hello? Yes. He was off that whole fucking time.
You never turned it on?
Nigga, I didn't know. I thought you had it plugged up. The whole time I thought it was already on.
All our mics
That's
gotta be
on
turned
y'all. Come on, man.
That's not on us. You know this.
on
You
y'all.
work here.
I do work here, nigga, but I just sat down.
Exactly. Don't give me that shit.
How you gonna have the mic up and the mic not on? Come on, bro. It's set up. That's not me.
Mike was done. He pulled it to his face.
That's funny.
I guess.
You saw him. You watched it.
All right, I guess. Well, yeah,
But yeah,
no.
I get that. And then the Joker has said it many times. He's like, maybe you should be in here with us a lot. And I guess I finally get that. Like, yeah, he is fucking mentally unstable just as much.
In the because you're mixing mental instability with super genius, and that's because that is super genius, and that's why I think his power lies. That's
another
the
big sign
had.
was like the fact that he has a contingency plan against all his homies.
Yeah.
He has a way to kill all his
But it's smart. It's smart.
He's smart
Because if everybody like
But that ain't
loses
no
it,
more
nigga,
shit.
like no, it's
he
not.
hangs with gods.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Would you not want to be paranoid if some shit just happened? Your friend just randomly start offing niggas. You would have to have something to kill this guy.
It's a regular human with no
powers,
quote unquote, no superpowers.
Yeah.
And you're hanging around with every person you hang around is a planetary level threat.
Yeah.
At least.
Well, damn.
You would want to think how to take that person out.
The nigga that people make fun of is Aquaman, who can literally just drown the planet.
Oh, who actually can keep toe to toe with Superman?
He's king of 75% of the planet.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wonder Woman's just as powerful, if not more powerful than he is.
He's
Green Lantern holds one of the most powerful weapons in the universe with the Green Lantern ring. Yep. Like, he's hanging around with gods. Like, why would you not have a contingency plan for that?
You don't know what's going to happen. Because there's many comics where they all turn bad. Yeah. There's many comics where they all turn bad. Like the Green Lantern turned bad. Like, bro, like
he's ready for that shit.
He's ready for that shit. He making sure that because at the end of the day, he need to protect his city.
And that's why y'all should, if y'all haven't read it or checked it out, peep the Dark Knight's Metal series, because it actually explores different avenues of what, because a lot of the characters are pretty much amalgamations or mashups of him and another Justice League or another DC character that he became kind of to combat that same thing in alternate universes in the dark multiverse. But the worst one was when he finally became unhinged. It was a mix of him and the Joker, the Bat Who Laughs.
Yep.
And when I say his reign was absolutely terrifying,
it was crazy.
Like
fucking crazy.
Like an unhinged Batman's probably the smartest character in DC comics. Let's just call it a buck. Even if people have a higher quote unquote intelligence than him, he somehow finds a way to outsmart all of them. So he's the smartest guy. And whenever you fully unhinged him, so now he has no leash, he has no boundaries. How do you beat that?
Yep.
He dispatches the Justice League in like a week.
Oh yeah, he did do that shit. He didn't give a fuck. He didn't
easily
give a fuck.
Didn't try.
Yeah.
This was a walk in the park for him. Like, come
crazy,
on,
bro.
You can, but he not a superhuman though. His power is super intelligence.
Deep we got it too, bro. Like, when it comes to comics, bro, I keep going too, bro. Like it's just another thing that I just want to put this out there. But like, it's so many DC comic characters that they don't explore that piss me off because they do the same people: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
I want them to explore the Atom.
They got the Atom. They got Dr. Fate. They can still go in Green Lantern. They got Lobo.
They definitely don't do the dark. They definitely do not do DC dark enough.
No, they don't, bro. Like it's Constantine, like fucking Zatanna, like nigga, Deadman, like bro. It's so many. Even Swamp Thing at times get off. Like
Swamp Thing's a beast.
Yeah,
now.
bro.
It took them forever just to get to Captain Marvel and Black Adam.
Yep. So Shazam's really like,
Shazam, and depending on which one you call him.
I didn't see that movie yet. Actually,
that movie was terrible. It's like they saw an '80s movie and they said, "Let's recreate one."
I'm gonna keep it. Well, I expected it to be. I haven't seen it yet, but I expect it to be campy. Just because Billy Batson's a child.
Yeah, he's a child.
He's a child.
So fucking bad.
No, I think there's it's so many characters that because they've been out longer than, they've been out around the same time because Marvel actually wasn't Marvel back in the 30s. But like they've been out for the same time. They have a lot of fucking characters, bro. So it's like, to me, it's just like, goddamn, like, can y'all please, like the comic books is killing it with DC, right. But it's like they just need to, in the entertainment industry, just need to like explore these characters
and the
more,
TV
bro.
shows and the animated films.
Yeah, exactly.
When it comes to animated films, DC shits on.
Oh
Marvel.
yeah,
every single time.
They definitely do.
It's hard to get into.
They know how to make a good animated film.
He said Shazam was definitely good. I still haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it yet.
That's cap.
But I heard some good things about it. But I know a lot of people didn't expect it to be as campy. But if you know Billy Batson's character, yeah, he's a 12-year-old.
I mean, all these superhero movies are for children. Besides the rated R ones.
Like, oh my god,
I'm gonna check it out. I might watch it tonight.
Alright.
Because that's like with the whole Star Wars argument. When niggas be complaining about that shit, bro, these shits are made for children. No matter how dark these movies get, they are catered to children. They're from Disney. Like these Marvel movies, you can say like, oh, these Jones hard. They're catered to children.
But that doesn't make me, just because it's catered to children, that doesn't make me excuse the fact that it's not a good story.
I didn't say that. I'm saying like, but no matter what it is, it's still, because you said it was campy and you was like, it's for children. Of course, all these movies are for children.
It was campy. He just said he didn't.
Oh yeah.
If I'm gonna watch it and it can be catered to children and still be a good story. If it's not a good story, I'm not stamping it. That's just all I care about.
I feel that most children's movies, to me, like besides
they'll
the ones
skip
that Disney,
steps. Just,
besides the ones that
Disney
does and like Disney, Pixar, DreamWorks, they don't have good stories because kids don't care. They just want to see.
Yeah, they're not gonna polish it, and it's like, well, if you're not gonna take the polish it, then I'm not gonna fucking care about it. Shit.
Ryan, don't make this weird. This man said like a pedo. No, that's the dude we were talking about though, Ryan. That's Ryan, right?
Ooh, I want to get into the last thing we should. I wanted to touch on. You said when you were in college, you had a sleep paralysis situation, and this is the funniest thing I've ever heard. Funniest.
So I've told this story so many times. It's funny as hell, but it's wild. So there's a period of time when I was in college. I was with my best friend, one of my best friends, my boy Saj. We were roommates in college out in West Virginia. And there was a period of time where I got the flu. So, like, I was out of class for a while. I was sick as a fucking dog. I was pretty much confined to my dorm outside of when I went to, like, shit and eat and shower. And I generally try not to take medication. I'm just weird with it. I try to, maybe that's toxic masculinity. I try to tough it out and stuff like that. Just where we're putting unnatural shit in my body. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't take NyQuil or anything like that. But it got to a point where I wasn't getting a whole lot of sleep. And then my homie was talking to a Joan at the time. And like sometimes he would bring her by the room. And we had a rule where it's like, okay, if you're going to smash, either wait till the other person's out of the room or wait till... for me, I say wait till I'm asleep because I'm a heavy fucking sleeper. Once I'm out, I'm out. I'm not.
You dummy.
I'm not waking up. Right?
You dumb.
Not really, because this thing. We were roommates for 2 years, and I lived at his house for a long time. So it was a dynamic that worked. I would never know unless he said something, right? So one night I was like, okay, yo, I'm like struggling with this flu. I need to take some NyQuil, help me get to sleep. So I took it. Boom, I was out. So I wake up in the middle of the night, it's pitch black, and like I hear what's going on beforehand. I'm like, fuck, I just need to either go back to the sleep or I might just go outside to the lobby or something like that, get out of here. So I hear it, but I can't move. So I'm sitting there like, I had enough for my eyes to open, but I can't. It's pitch black and I'm under the covers, so I can't move. I'm like freaking out, starting to have a panic attack, and all I hear in the fucking background is. And I'm thinking I'm about to die. I've never had sleep paralysis before. So I'm like, yo, is this how it ends? If that's how it ends, I know I'm going to hell. I'm not even big into like religion and shit like that. But it's like, how do you get to the afterlife or the pearly gates, whatever you want to call it, and you got to explain to niggas how you died?
You're not getting no street cred.
None, dog. I think I'd rather have chosen hell at that point because they gotta clown me in heaven, bro.
Yeah, they would have done
absolutely
some
clown
outrageous
me, dog.
shit. Oh man,
like that was an absolutely terrifying.
So did you
experience.
like overcome the sleep paralysis? You just go to sleep.
No, I eventually fell back to sleep, and then I just I woke up the next morning. Old girl was gone. It was me and my homie. And I just looked at him like, dog, I fucking hate you, dog. And then I told him, he's like, wait, what? And I told him what happened. He started dying laughing. We still talk about that shit to this day. Like, it was scary at the time, but it's just funny as hell now.
That is hilarious.
It's a funny little tidbit shit. I don't know. I have fun telling the story.
At least you couldn't see anything. At least it was dark. Imagine imagine you stuck there. You just see
you gotta watch the dog.
That's happened to me before.
I think I would.
What?
Not with that sound, but like my sleep paralysis. I mean, if you want to hear about it real quick, but it was in broad daylight though, which was even fucking weirder, bro. 'Cause I was laying on the bed. I was laying on my couch, and literally I woke up, and then like I was screaming, but I wasn't screaming, and I was in my covers, but my covers were like around my body like this, so I was encamped in my butt, like in my shit like this, and I was like, yo, but nobody was home. So I was by myself, and my dog was upstairs somewhere. I don't know where the fuck she was at, bro. But like literally, I couldn't move. So I was like, what the fuck? So then I finally broke out of it, and I was like, that was weird. Went right back to sleep. And then literally that night is where it got weird. I went to sleep that night, and the same shit happened. But I woke up, and I swear to God, niggas be thinking I'd be capping, bro, but I cannot make this up. My grandma was still alive at this time. R.I.P. my grandma. She was standing next to my bed. And she was it was this black figure, but I didn't notice she had no face. And she was like standing in like this because my grandma was sassy. She was standing in like this super like sassy pose, and I looked, and I thought I was talking, but I wasn't. I was like, Granny, when'd you get here? And as soon as I said that figure disappeared. Bro, I snapped out my sleep paralysis so quick, bro. Hopped out my bed and ran to my mom's room. I slept in my mom's room the rest of the night, bro. I was like, fuck that, dog. That shit had me weak.
That shit's terrifying.
That shit is.
I didn't take NyQuil. I didn't take cough syrup for years after that shit, bro. I refused.
Man, sleep paralysis it's a thing. Like I had that shit repeatedly all of November, like back to back to back to back, like 2 months ago. Every single time I would go to sleep, it was sleep paralysis, and I made a song off it just because I was going through it so much.
I know people who can like do it on command, like induce sleep paralysis, and astral project that way.
That's how I was when I first encountered sleep paralysis. That's what I was trying to do, and then like from there on out, like from there I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna try astral projection anymore. And then when I had the sleep paralysis back to back in November, I figured out how to snap out of it. Like, if it would come on, I'd be able to break out of it. Like, I'm good at that shit now. But, like, it definitely takes time. And a lot of times when people are going to sleep paralysis, you're still dreaming. But you're envisioning how your room looks. You're envisioning everything.
But you're still seeing what's...
You're envisioning what your mind thinks is your room. And, like, I went through it so many times that I had to realize, like, okay, that's not as far as that is. The distance from that is not as far as that is. And I could start to tell like difference between being awake and when you're in sleep paralysis. It's like you're in a dream inside a dream, so when you wake up it feels like you're not awake, and then when you wake up it's like, okay, I'm really awake. It's like some Inception type shit.
You can feel the difference after the fact, but beforehand you
your
swear
mind
you're
will
awake,
play some
dog.
tricks on you, dog.
The human brain is fucking powerful, dog.
He said I had a sleep paralysis moment, but it was a picture of DeAndre Atten talking about
Who's DeAndre Atten?
Who the fuck is the
I have no idea who that is, man.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
But yeah, that's a cool little anecdote,
bro. That's hilarious. If you had been able to watch it, bro, that would have been terrible. That should have been slow.
I would keep it a buck. I probably couldn't have been friends with my homie no more. I would have had to find a new roommate who would have just like had to.
It's just weird.
Shout out to my mans though. If your girl's listening, that's years ago.
NBA player.
Toya, you ain't got to worry about that.
Any last questions before we wrap this up?
Or any shout outs you want to do? Yeah. Or if the audience has any questions for my man King
Kingkoltrane.
Culture.
If y'all got questions for me,
Oh nah. Oh nah, that's some real sleep paralysis. Oh nah, Mo. Oh yeah, that's scary. Yeah, we done.
Yo, he got that face like in a past life he beat women. He did. Oh my gosh. And he played for the Suns. I'm sorry. This face Hey, yo.
He's like, what you want? What you want, DeAndre Atten? What you talking about?
What are you doing here, bro? Yo, that's funny. Oh shit.
But yeah, anybody got any questions for Coltrane or
not yet?
Like I said, you got any shout outs, bro?
Man, just shout out to everybody. Shout out to the team, Pharaoh Vision. Shout out to Lovelace.
Ooh, I got 2 last questions.
Go ahead, big dog.
Oh no, keep shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Lovelace. Shout out to OKO, Free Migo, Free Gully. Shout out to BRE. Shout out to formerly known as the Coop. But shout out to the homies. Just shout out to everybody doing their thing. On Valentine's Day, I do have a song coming out. Booty Rubs and Backwoods. Some little jump for the ladies. Booty Rubs and Backwoods. You heard it right.
Because I was crunching. You said booty rubs and backwoods.
Rubs and Backwoods. Like you said it right. I'll play that joint for you when we get off the air. But yeah, that joint dropped Valentine's Day. So if you got somebody, play that shit with them. If you don't got nobody, play that shit. If you dancing by yourself in the mirror,
can't give them exclusive.
It's the same.
Exclusive.
Nah, we gonna keep that for Friday. We gonna keep that for Friday. But if you do want to see it performed, go ahead and pop out on Friday. We'll be at Silver Manassas off Battle Street. We got the Massacre, the Valentine's Day show coming up. Also, it's a jump boogie, so we gonna party. We gonna turn it up. We got some giveaways. We gonna have some stuff going on. But you wanna come and hear it then? Pull up. Other than that, it'll be out on all streaming platforms, as well as SoundCloud on Friday.
All right, last 2 questions. I wanted to ask the Pharaoh Row thing. What is that?
So Pharaoh Vision is a joke.
What did you say? I'm sorry.
He goes Pharaoh.
It's Pharaoh Fe, like the beginning of the word. So Pharaoh Fe. So I'm just cut up, and then everyone says row. So Pharaoh. It's just basically. Yeah.
Okay, because when y'all was saying it, like I wanted to say it, but I was looking around, I was like, fuck this up, so I'm gonna just shut up.
Yeah, so when we say Pharaoh Fair, you just say row. You just finish out the word. So Pharaoh Vision is the label, that's the clique, that's the squad, but that was started by my brother Player Paulie, and then with the lieutenant, my boy Pharaoh Lorenzo. It's funny because I knew them 2009, 2010, like early high school. We were all like kids, but it was a whole other thing back then. And then everyone goes to college, everyone kind of goes their separate ways for a while, and they go down to the 757, and they pop up like with like new names and like a whole new sound, a whole new thing. And I didn't know at the time. I just followed these guys, and they had followed me. And eventually, they didn't post a lot of pictures at the time, but then they started posting more pics. I'm like, is that my man's?
That's my man's.
That's my man's. And I hit him up, and then we just of course, clicked up ever since. But then, as of recently, I just became a part of Pharaoh Vision itself versus just being homies with them. So right now, there's more people, and again, I probably will miss names, but I know. The main roster that I know of course, is Player Paulie, Pharaoh Lorenzo, Khan from the 703, myself, Mr. Can't Never Outdo CO extraordinaire, myself, my homegirl Mimi. Shout out to my man's Kwame, Quality God. That's like pretty. And shout out to T, the founder of the Jump Boogie and in charge of Jump Boogie, and it's pretty much the main roster on the squad.
It's cool. So when you say Pharaoh Fit, and then it's a row, so that's just like something like all of everybody that shuts out?
Yeah, just all of something that we do. I've been seeing Paulie and Zoe do that for years. I was so happy when I finally got to do it. We all were.
I was like, what does the slogan mean? Is this like some type of like...
Yeah, it's literally, you're basically just saying Pharaoh twice.
Gotcha.
It's Pharaoh.
Gotcha.
Shout out to Paulie for creating that crazy chant, call and response. I love doing it every time. It never gets old.
Definitely a lot of crowd engagement from it. Last question. Your involvement at Lovelace. And what you do for Lovelace.
For Lovelace, I'm a few different things. I'm an artist. Of course, that's more so with Feral Vision. But I'm an artist. I'm the newly appointed vice president. So I do attend a lot of different meetings and just discuss a lot of a part of company matters with Nick, Zoe, and Sheila, and Bogans. And then also I'm mainly the CMO, the Chief Merchandising Officer. So as far as going forward, things that happen when it comes to the merch, the clothing that we put out and stuff, that will be spearheaded by your boy.
Gotcha. That's what's up, and I trust you with that.
You better. I mean,
appreciate that.
You know, dressing.
Yeah.
All right. So this has been our interview with Kingkoltrane.
Oh yes. I just want to say very briefly, I did post. I think from now on, what we should start doing, because even though the name's up top, I think we should start posting their links either way. So I posted both his Instagram and his Twitter. So, yeah.
Oh, shout out DJ Wonton. How did I forget about DJ Wonton, the greatest DJ ever? Don't give a fuck.
Wonton's the man.
Wonton be that dude.
What's it called? Big Trust. Woo woo. But yeah, shout out to DJ Wonton. That's my brother. It's my bad, dog. Please don't fight me. That's it.
Thank you all for coming to Painting with Friends. As usual, I'm Vaz motherfucking Hazing. We just interviewed Kingkoltrane.
Shout out Black Francis too, Zach Sims.
Oh, he's on the way right now. He's actually here, so I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, we're about to grab our
yeah. Peace.
Rex. And Aaron's in the corner. Do you want to take like a slight commercial break?
Shit, let's get it.
We're gonna keep continuing.
Yo, how do you play that? Like,
I like to play like a guitar sometimes.
It's like a cheat instrument. No matter where you hit the buttons, it just sounds good.
Yeah, it's a kalimba.
That's fire.
Ooh, they're playing Anime Awards. Tune in February 15th. Winners announced. They have an Anime Awards?
I didn't know that. That's the day after the show. I'm about to pee.
Superstar Xavier Woods, George Wada. Crunchyroll. Is it on Crunchyroll? Around the world, watch anime.
Is that my phone?
Oh, it's on Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll does an Anime Awards now.
So I know you checked at that. So I know you checked at that enchilada spot.
Oh,
it's nice, right?
Oh,
it's nice as fuck, right?
I ain't never had an enchilada before.
That shit crazy.
It was the first time.
Hey! Who the fuck? Who are you?
Hey, yo, don't worry about that. I see y'all partaking. I want some of that shit. Let me hit it.
Nah, man, you ain't throw down for this shit.
Nah, don't be a bitch. Hey, yo, just let me hit that shit real quick.
Who the fuck you calling a bitch, homie?
Hey, I call you a bitch.
I'm about to bring your face, G.
What's up?
Hold on, nigga.
Shit, that's why you can't take your shirt off, you musty motherfucker.
Yeah. Fuck. Yo, check this nigga's power level. You don't want to fight this guy, fam. What you mean?
His power level's too high.
Is it past fuck your mama level?
He did fuck your mama.
Nobody fucks my mama!